begin.
Okay.
So let's start with our recap. Everybody roll a d20.
10.
14.
5.
Well.
Oh, Adam.
Here we go.
With
So,
meticulous notes.
well, let's see how I did. Oh, there's only one page. I'll see. So, my notes begin with the blind eye, the 11th wheel, and that we left a strange dimension after waking up to find that Welfer had killed everyone. He'd been in disguised as Telper.
Other way round.
Another way. No. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember how we ended up. I mean, did we take a wrong turn, or we ended up in this kind of floating?
There was only one way to go, and it was down a hole.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, and we kept falling and falling.
Polymorph didn't turn out quite as well as we were expecting.
And
yes, I was very spidery.
And then we found ourselves in what's increasingly becoming Sonny's favourite pub, the Blind Eye. And Sonny, wanting to return one day, discovered that the only way to get back in is to learn Thieves' Cant, because the password is always on the outside of the pub, but it's in Thieves' Cant, and you need to join the Thieves Guild perhaps to learn that. We went back to our original pub, which I can't remember the name of. The Winkener.
The Winkener Nail Hut.
Yep. But it was closed, and on it was a wanted poster.
A very well designed.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I've still
For
got it.
Which we credit Alex's boyfriend, I believe, don't we?
Yeah.
Not Alex.
Yes, but for the use bit, I did the rest. But yes, it was a collaborative effort.
And so that's still up on the stream, actually, the poster. So today as well. And then I think there was a bit of a chase scene out in the street, and everyone vanished on Sonny, and he was left with the Royal Guard bearing down on him. So he panicked and fled, hid for a while. I think he made a disguise to try and.
What did he disguise himself as?
Mrs. Don't Fire.
Yep.
And tried to make his way back to the Abbey, and ran into some trouble with guards. Only wanted to knock the guard out, but rolled a natural 20 and killed him on the spot. And I think he might have rolled a natural 20 on the second guard who came to help. It all went terribly wrong. He made it back to the Abbey and met up with his friends who'd abandoned him. But the Royal Guard, the ceremony worked, the princess, killing her and bringing her back to life, thus bringing about a change in the wind conditions. And then the Royal Guard raided the Abbey. Again, Sonny was abandoned by his friends and left to fend for himself. When the guards entered, they saw through his disguise, and he ended up attacking the leader of the guard, running for it and joining his friends in the garden, who for the third time in the adventure abandoned him by giving themselves up. So Sonny legged it again, and I think that's he managed to escape the Abbey and jump over the wall, and that's where we left it, I think.
Yep, that's right. And well, that's where we left Sonny. And what happened to the other boys?
I think they were arrested and led away.
Anyone want to fill in?
Yeah, we willingly surrendered to clear up the situation because Init and Bradley were arrested on our behalf.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't feel the need to go killing innocent guards.
You didn't.
Unlike some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlike half the party.
Let me just find this alignment thing and scratch it out.
I'm just googling alignment right now because I think Sonny's.
I think Thalar, since leaving the temple, I think Thalar's is starting to
Slipped a
sway.
bit.
Yeah. Let's go for neutral. Good for now. But yes, that's where I remember us being.
Okay, yep, that's right. So, and that's where we'll begin, is with in the Huskow,
Uh-oh.
in the big house, where we find Valoran and Jornan and Thalar. And the moment before was Bradley greeting you. And
Yeah.
you, as the jailer walks away, you hear him say, hang on. Josh, you keep falling off the call.
Hold on, I'm going to try and switch to a different device. Give me a sec.
Okay. So do you come here often, or?
Not as often as I'd like.
Oh,
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
I know. I get the shakes a little bit when we don't play. I'm like, I need my fix, man.
Here we go. Let's see if that works any better. Okay.
Well, time will tell. So,
Yeah.
you hear Bradley, and he says, "Hi guys. Did you guys give con what was it in it?" And she looks right at you, and she's staring fucking daggers, and she says, "Comfort and aid to enemies of the kingdom." Yeah. Did you do that too?
Sadly, Bradley, I think in this misunderstanding, we are the enemies of the kingdom.
Oh.
But this is something we will clear up, and we have come here to help you and Init get released, because it is not right that you should be punished or put at risk for us.
Okay. And it looks over, and she's just got this look on her face, and she says, where is genius number 4? Aren't there usually more of you?
Usually, yes. He's
on the lam somewhere.
well, let's just say he's elsewhere for now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sit back down, Bradley, because we're gonna be here a little while longer.
And it doesn't like us anymore.
She didn't like us a lot in the first place.
Speak for yourself.
Don't worry, I'm sure this will all be cleared up presently.
Well, they told us we wouldn't be released until all of you are apprehended. One missing means we're stuck.
Oh,
I can understand that.
well, I mean...
then we need to speak to a guard. Guard!
No, nothing. No one comes.
doesn't always work. Well,
shall I go find one?
what?
Shall I go find a guard?
Oh, he's just gonna step out of the cage.
Yeah, I can do, yeah.
Oh, well,
I
mean,
don't know that that's the best idea.
Well, I did. We three did surrender on the stipulation that you were released.
Yes.
And
Fine.
I
They
see
did
that
say
you're
you
not
would.
released.
They would. Yeah.
Did you get it in writing?
No, I took these men of honor at their word.
Okay, well, I'll take them at their word and wait for genius number 4.
Hmm.
The cook is in the cell with them.
The
Sonny's
cook.
very best friend, but he is asleep. He's snoring on the bunk. Bradley's fiddling with a rock, and he turns over and he says, "Oh, guys! Guess what I found?
What did you find, Bradley?
Not another.
There's so many Stevens!
I
I have so many friends now. Only they're not quiet like Steven.
They're not quiet.
No, Steven was real
Oh,
polite.
yes. Yes,
He didn't
sorry.
make much of a
Yeah.
fuss.
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah, I believe these rats are alive, Bradley.
Yes. Yes.
I know,
But
but I got a rock.
well, a rock's good.
Is
in
it a special rock?
Wait, it's how I make the rats quiet.
Aha, of course it is. Of
He
course.
starts playing with the rock again, with nothing in particular.
How have you been treated? As well as can be expected, I would hope.
As well as can be expected, yes.
Right.
3 squares a day and not much to do. Settle in, by the way. Get real comfy.
How long have you been here?
9 days?
Right. Okay.
Why? Have you been having fun?
Not a lot, no, surprisingly.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, shadow beasts, you know, ancient necromancers, that kind of thing.
Weird dimensions, yeah.
What a pity.
If it helps, though, we have fixed the wind.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and goes, fantastic. Well, then, I guess that solves all my problems.
Well, no, but we can work on solving the rest of your problems, surely.
She sort of sniffs.
This was not the intended course of action.
Smash cut to Sunny Wukong. So Sunny, while this has all been happening, you are sprinting away from the Abbey, pursued by that last guard, John or Tom or whatever I called him. And you're running down the streets, and you come into the market and you survey the scene, and you spot, you know, the market's dying down. It's still a little busy, but it's thinning out a bit. And your keen eye spots two things. The first is a cart filled with an enormous tower of hay, drawn by a rather portly halfling and a single donkey, and it's trundling its way towards you. And the other thing you see is just across the market, maybe 30 feet away, is a small back alley, and you can see, leant up against the side of the alley, are some empty barrels and their lids. You have maybe 5 seconds to decide as you hear the guard come up behind you.
Okay. I am very fond of halflings because of the wine they make. So I run over. I'd like to use a stealth check to climb into the hay without the halfling knowing for now, but knowing that I might be able to charm them if they find
Make yourself a stealth check.
Okay. Bear with me a second. 13.
Yep, that'll do it. You sort of casually saunter towards the back, and then once the cart has passed, you dive into the center of the hay, and you sort of shift it around, and you make it look as if, you know, nothing was there. You cover your entrance. And you can smell the pipe smoke from this halfling man as you sort of jostle along over the cobblestones. And this takes a little while. You sort of jumble on over the streets for a little while with the occasional bump. And as time passes, you can hear some voices ebbing and subsiding and, you know, sort of growing. And you can hear yourself coming through the city without great speed. And you recognize after a while that you've passed through a couple of the internal gates of the city without any trouble at all. And you continue down for another 5 or 10 minutes, again, just sort of shifting back and forth, listening to the sounds of the city. And eventually you feel the cart sort of jostle to a lazy stop. And you hear some muffled voices from behind you coming from the cab of the cart itself. You hear some low tones, sort of, and then as the voice gets closer around, you hear a man say, "So you won't mind if I check the hay then, will you?" "Well, not at all. Be my guest, sir." Thank you. We're looking for some fugitives. You see? Make a dex saving throw.
+3. 18.
Yep. So you feel the hay shift as a long pole stabs into it. And you hear the guy say, please let us know if you see these fugitives. My colleague has a wanted poster that you can take with you. Grateful if you could share it around." Make another dex check. Dex saving throw, rather.
7 this time.
Yeah, you get smacked full on in the face with this quarterstaff, and you take 6 points of damage. And you hear the guy say, "Hey, I got something in this one." You feel the staff start to kind of jiggle around and try and pry out.
Okay, so I'm still dressed as Mrs. Don't fire.
Don't fire.
Don't fire. Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll out. I'm gonna pull out my bottle of flower wine and roll out at the back and put on a bit of an act that I'm a drunk lady that's fallen asleep.
Make a performance check to see how convincing your drag act is.
Okay.
Yeah, the only act part of that was the lady part.
Yeah. The rest of it I buy.
Yeah.
13.
Don't you have a mustache?
Yes, and how rude of you to point that out in public.
It's not polite to say that to a lady.
I'm a lady.
Right. So you stumble out, and the guard puts one hand on the sword and he looks at you, and he says, "Would you step over here, please, sir?"
No.
So, it's madam to you.
And he says, "Sure it is." And he rips off your wig and holds the wanted poster up next to your face. And he says, "Well, holy shit! Right, you're coming with me." And he draws his sword.
See, this is what I don't like as Sonny's character, is all this sword business. Now, I've been struggling with what Sonny would do, because you're right, he is lawfully good, but he didn't mean to kill those guards, but he was chased by them with swords and things. But maybe he would hand himself in now. I'm not. Okay, he sticks his arms out and says, "I'll come quietly."
And they slap cuffs on you, and they pull you over to the side of the gate, and they pull the halfling guy over too, and they start having a conversation. One of them starts having a conversation with him, seeing if he knew you were in there. And after a while, they seem satisfied that he was purely ignorant, and they send him on his way, and you can see him trundle off. And the guard comes over, and he says, "Right, well, we're off to the barracks. We've got a cart coming, so you just sit tight." And about 3-4 minutes later, you see a single pony come up with a little sort of rickshaw cart, just a small little thing. And one of them mounts up, and he sort of hoists you into the back. And you begin to trundle back the way you came. And you head down the streets that you've just come through, and about 5 or 10 minutes later, you find yourself at the gates of the barracks. And the guards open the doors, and they if looks could kill, you'd be in the astral plane right now. That's how they're just shooting you these daggers, and you get taken in. And similar to the other boys, you go through the procedure of having all of your things taken off of you and logged and cataloged, and receipts to get generated, and it's all very officially done. But the thing that's different is that every so often you get when a guard thinks he can get away with it, you get a guard coming up, and he just says, we don't take kindly to guard killers around here, murderer. And a couple spit on you, and one of them tries to lunge at you, and he gets held back, and he just shouts out, "Mateo was a good man!" And you get thrown into a cell, and the door is shut, and you can't see the other boys. You don't really know what's happened to them, but they're not near you in this cell block. And so you sort of cool your heels in that cell for a little while, and I'm going to cut back to the other boys. So in the time that all of this has happened, we're going to cut forward a little bit by a few hours. So it's probably evening now, and you hear footsteps coming down the hall, and Irenatio, the captain of the guard, the brother of the king, comes down, and he's got the retinue of guards behind him. And he stands in front of your cell, and he crosses his arms. And he says, "Oh, good afternoon. I hope you've found your accommodation comfortable. I must admit I was pleasantly surprised to be told not only were you in the city, but that you'd surrender yourselves. Though I see you're an accomplice shy."
Yes, and we surrendered ourselves on the stipulation that the innkeeper would be released. And yet here she still is.
And why would I do that? Harboring an enemy of the kingdom is a very serious crime indeed, as is murdering a princess.
As is conspiring to murder a princess. It wouldn't be awful if somebody found out that that's what people were up to.
Yes, surely it would be.
But they weren't conspiring to harbour anyway, they were innkeepers.
But indeed they did harbor you.
Yes, but not only through that's what their job is. Not as part of a conspiracy. Also, the princess is alive.
He raises an eyebrow and he says, "You must forgive me if I seem a bit incredulous. But the wind has died. With it, I assume so has my niece."
She did, briefly. But we took upon ourselves to come up with a new plan, as the plans that we were told were awful and resulting in the death of a princess.
Would you be so kind as to elaborate?
Yes, we spoke to the priest of Mishakal, and our reason for leaving the city was to obtain a resurrection stone, so that she might be healed once things had been done that needed to be done to appease Chanterre. Due to factions within the palace wishing her death, not that I will name any names.
So if I was to take a walk to the Abbey of Mishakal right now, what would I find? My niece, alive, well, and resurrected?
Hopefully.
Yes, as far as we know.
God knows, considering you've come up trying to attack people inside, that she might not have fled by now, but that's where she was when we left.
Curious indeed. Well, then you must excuse me. If Valinetta is alive, as you say, this changes things considerably. I hope you understand if I leave you in our care for a while longer.
Well, I was thinking I might come with you.
I don't know that will be possible. You are a prisoner.
Yeah, but only briefly. Once this is all sorted out, we will be fine, and...
Certainly, and if what you say is true, then I shall return, and you will be freed.
Valinetta knows that there are factions within the palace willing to kill her. You might want a friendly face.
Be that as it may, I don't think it's a very good idea for you to come with me, considering you're a prisoner.
One who surrendered willingly.
Be that as it may, the leniency will be granted, but not now.
And
it will be granted when your trial starts.
And when will this trial be?
Well, post-haste. We have no time to waste. It's a very serious crime. But perhaps all can be averted if I go to find out if Valinetta is alive.
What about the innkeeper?
And the innkeeper will be freed if and when, indeed, Valinetta A is alive, or B, we find your fourth compatriot.
Your worship, your whatever. Myself and my compatriots will wait here gracefully and quietly.
We will?
Yes, we will, while you check the abbey.
And he gives a low bow, and he says, "Well then, I will bid you good night," and sweeps away.
I ask one request before you leave.
He pauses.
Take her mother.
The Queen?
Yes.
Why?
As I've said, she needs a friendly face.
Very well. I will take the Queen.
And she knew.
I do not doubt it. I will take the Queen. And if what you say is true, I shall return here, and we will have a very different conversation.
Yep, you're gonna look silly.
I look forward to it. Good night. And he walks away.
As they're walking away,
Mhm.
the door, like, because we're in like a jaily bit, aren't we?
Mhm.
The door, what do I hear? I'm listening to see for locks and stuff.
Yeah, so you hear footsteps walk away,
Yeah.
and then you hear a metal, one of those metal grated bar doors. You hear it swing shut and click, and then you hear shuffling, and then you hear another door open and close, and then you hear the footsteps recede.
Yeah. And the jail cell.
Mhm.
Are there any outside windows?
No, you're underground.
Underground.
You went down to basement level,
dungeon level.
subground. Yeah, well, it's one of the more pleasant dungeons you've been in.
I don't visit a lot of them, to be honest, Alex.
It's much more pleasant than the last one you were in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
But I
well
can't-
lit.
I can't burn this one to the ground.
Well, you probably I suppose
I
it's
could
been
try.
so, but you could try. I wouldn't advise it, but you certainly could try. So time passes. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as a sidebar, can you hear me alright? Because I switched to my PC.
You sound like you're down a well.
You're a bit distant, but we can hear you.
Are you wearing like iPhone headphones?
No, I'm.
Are you on your phone?
I'm just on the computer now. I was on my phone. My phone was.
Freaking out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's in this room. I've got bad. It's not bad Wi-Fi. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna retry the other thing. Okay.
Okay. So time passes, and it is
Hello.
now the morning. So you spend the night there. If you hadn't needed to take a long rest, or what you've all taken your long rest. Sunny too. You wake up. It's quite early. You feel, you wake up. You feel like you haven't got tons and tons of sleep, but you rested. And you awake to sounds of footsteps. And you hear those doors open again, and there's a lot more footsteps this time. And guards line the bars of each cell. There's probably a couple dozen of them on either side. And once in place, you hear so still for a moment, and then more footsteps approach. And into view comes Irenatio again, and he is escorting the king. And Enid gasps when she sees the king, and she falls down to one knee, and she pulls Bradley down too, and the cook keeps snoring. And the king approaches the bars of your cell, and he has a really content look on his face, a relieved look on his face. And he's wearing very fine robes, but nothing so flashy. It's just sort of whatever he wanted to throw on. It's not like a state visit. And he says, dear adventurers, we thought the worst of you, but you have managed to restore my daughter to me and prosperity to Inisti. You have the gratitude of a nation and a king. In light of your deeds, I am issuing a full pardon to your entire party for all of the alleged crimes committed in the act of restoring Inisti and breaking Shantaea's curse. Naturally, we will also have some kind of material reward to give them. And he looks at Irenatio, who gives him a nod. And then he says, my brother and his men will make all of the arrangements. Now, I must go to make preparations for a celebration now that Velanetta has returned to us. I wanted to come to thank you personally, and I sincerely hope that you will join us at our little ball as our honored guests. Please now excuse me, and I shall see you tonight for our little party. And he gives a low bow, and he retreats, and the guards...
With respect, Your Majesty.
And he pauses.
Compensation should also be due to the innkeeper, Bradley, and the cook here, who've been 10 days arrested for doing nothing more than owning an inn.
And he sort of says, yes, and he gestures at Irenatio, who gives another nod.
And maybe an apology from the captain to...
Yes, fine. Irenatio, sort it all out. I must away. Excuse me, gentlemen. And he sort of quickly walks off.
I'm gonna flash a big shit-eating grin at it.
Irenatio stays behind with a couple extra guards and points to one of them and says, Jagnarsson, please escort the innkeeper and her staff back to the tavern with our thanks and our apologies. for their cooperation and for the inconvenience. Please assure them that we will be making contact to make sure they are adequately compensated. She looks over at you.
What would the inn make if it was full for 10 days?
And she says, well, I'd need to get my figures in front of me. I don't know off the top of my head, but it would be... She looks right at Irenatio. Expensive.
Would you have those figures ready for when the guards come by with your compensation, please?
You can be assured of it.
Hey, she likes us again.
Nicely
I
done.
wouldn't maybe go that far. But, so a guard opens the door and motions to Enid and Bradley and wakes up the cook. And sleepily he stands up. And they all follow him down the hall and out of sight. Bradley waves enthusiastically and says, "See you soon!"
I'll see you soon, Bradley.
And
I might have a present for you when we come back.
And it hurries him along and shoots you another look, less withering, but looks back. And Irenatio waits behind you. It's just you and him now, and he motions in the opposite direction, and he says, "Would you join me in the sheriff's office? There is some paperwork to finish, and of course the matter of your reward to discuss."
Ooh, well, certainly.
And he sort of gestures and begins to walk down the hall, leading you to the office. Josh wants to follow him. Does everybody else?
Not massively, but yes, Taylor, Baloran and I will follow.
We're gonna go back to Sunny for a minute while you follow him down, because what happened to Sunny was not dissimilar, but what happens to you, Sunny, is you wake up maybe 15 minutes before everything that I've just described, to see Irenatio standing outside of your cell, and he's knocking on the bars of the cell. Ding, 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 ding. And he says, "Good morning."
So, Sonny's not here anymore, but the person that is doesn't want to reveal that. Morning.
And he says, I must confess, you look nothing like your picture.
Yes, well, you can't always get the good artists nowadays, can you?
What now? I want you to just tell me, what has Sonny made his disguise out of?
So it was in the back alley. So the hair was made. The wig was made from straw and horsehair, and the large breasts were just sacks stuffed.
Now, I hate to be contrary, Adam, but you were thrown in jail, so they took all that off you.
All right, so so I meant Sonny isn't. He's retreated. Someone else has come forward. The trauma of killing people that he didn't mean to.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I see.
The trauma of his childhood. He has retreated to a different place, and someone else has come forward now.
I see. So another occupant.
Yes.
Mm.
And he says, Irenatio says, and you are?
Well, Sonny's not going to. This person
No,
isn't going to use
the
it.
The other person. He's
going to act as Sonny.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were actually RPing another person.
No, not yet.
You've regressed, and now it's just like a diff. Oh, okay, I got it. And he says, right, well, if you wouldn't mind joining me, some of your compatriots have joined us this evening as well, and there's a small matter to discuss in the sheriff's office.
Lead away.
And they cuff you through the bars, and then they lead you out, and they sit you down. And in the office, it's a small office with very neatly organized paperwork on the desk, and you're sitting in one of the chairs opposite. There's two chairs opposite this desk, and there's a window behind you that looks not out onto the street or anything because you're underground, but out onto the cell block. and the walls are covered in news clippings of various crime stories, and there's something simmering, a little pot of something simmering on a small coal fire. And Irenatio says, if you just wait here for a moment, I'll be right back with your colleagues.
Okay.
And he excuses himself and he shuts the door behind him, and you wait about 15 minutes. And then Irenatio opens the door and walks in with Jornan, Thalar, and Valoran. And comes around to the other side of the desk and sits down and gestures for you to there's one extra seat and the others can stand. And he sits down and he starts sort of shuffling the paperwork around. What do the boys, what do you do when you see Sonny?
I'll nod distantly, but just quiet.
Sonny doesn't make eye contact with any of you.
Thalar smiles, but when he doesn't receive any eye contact, just kind of goes a bit solemn and concerned.
And Irenatio finished shuffling his paperwork, and he leans forward onto his elbows on the table, and he says, so, if you had the favor of a king, what would you ask for?
Oh, damn. Jordan, you wanted a house.
An airship.
An airship. Yeah, we spoke before of an airship. What compensation are we talking about here?
And he says, you are national heroes. You saved the princess. You heard the king himself. I would think big, and if there's anything I am not permitted to give you today, I can take it to His Majesty on your behalf.
Hmm.
Do you need a moment?
Yes.
We may, yeah.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I will I'll step out and I'll return in 5 minutes or so to your deliberations.
Yes, that might be a good idea.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, he's actually gone.
Right. Has anybody any requests?
I don't know. I mean, what's the most useful thing?
I think we're nearly done here in NSD. I don't think there's a lot left for us to do. And while we've been pardoned by the king, we did still attack the guards as a party. I don't think we'd be super welcome even as heroes.
Yeah, I was going to suggest land and titles, but certainly.
We could do that somewhere outside the city if you wish.
Hmm.
I mean, an airship certainly would help us in our aspirations of being globe-trotting adventurers.
Yeah.
Because surely somewhere to travel will be the next one. We are on a smallish island, aren't we?
That's true. We are going to need to be able to get around the whole world.
So maybe some form of travel. If we can try an airship. Airships are very expensive.
Yeah.
But maybe they have a little one we could. Let me just see if I can find.
Let's see. Where's this in the
player's handbook? It's around the equipment area. See what they have for vehicles.
Air. No, okay, I didn't think it would. Is it a vehicle?
Oh, it might be in the DM's guide then.
So during this discussion, you would probably notice that Sonny's voice has changed slightly.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right there, Sonny. Sonny.
Well, Sonny's not here any longer. You can call me. You can call me Rahu. That drunken fool.
Wait, hold on. We missed something. What's wrong with you?
You abandoned.
I think someone's trying to hide from his crimes.
Sonny's mind is no longer able to cope, so I've come forwards.
Okay, well, who?
Rahu. R-A-H-O-O.
R-A-H-U.
You? Yeah.
You. Rahu. Right.
So, I mean, I've seen such things before. It's rare, but so who are you? Where are you from? How did you get here to this body?
I've I've always been there, in Sonny's shadow, quite literally. I'm the shadow to his sunny disposition.
Oh,
He's kept
sorry, that's true. That was a nice pun.
he's kept me at bay almost his entire life, but I've finally been able to come forwards when he needs me the most.
Like now?
Why would he need you? Do you have any special abilities? You're a different type of person. What are you?
I am able to better come to terms with the killing of the guard than Sonny is.
That worries me. I mean, we aren't going to be killing people on a regular basis, at least not innocent people on a regular basis. So, I would hope that...
Yep, nor will I. And Sonny is still here and has some element of control, but for the time being, he's taken a back seat.
Oh, well, I guess we deal with that as it comes then. I mean...
I think we'll need to discuss this further. Not here.
No.
But this we'll need to discuss. Right, I'll call Alex back in. So are we going with airship? If not, are we settling for a ship and crew to own?
Yeah, we need to get out of this town.
Or do we want land and titles?
I mean, we can maybe ask them to throw in a set of really nice armor and stuff, but yeah.
Oh, what do you want? Like plate armor or something?
I mean, yeah, I want something better than chain.
Right. Well, we can do that with gold, can't we? We get a gold figure.
It's a lot of gold for plate.
It's only 1,000.
1,500. Yeah, I only have 80 at the moment.
Yeah, but we are now national heroes.
I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
If they're willing to land and title us, and possibly give us a ship or something like that.
This is true. Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's focus on
an airship.
And a nice amount of gold.
Yeah. An airship's cost would be roughly about 20,000 gold, according to the DM.
Okay. Yeah, airship.
So if we go for gold, then we'll look at airship or like a galley ship, or something like an ocean ship, and crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a money value.
I was gonna say, do we want to just ask for the airship and an amount of money?
Yeah.
Okay, right, that's fine. Got you.
But I mean, we could still ask them to crew it for us, an airship with a crew.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
are you? Shall I let you do the asking?
No.
Right.
Taylor's not a haggler.
Unfortunately, Valoran's not here for the asking either.
I mean,
I think Sonny's in the right place.
There is 4 of us. If the airship is capable, if it's not that large and is capable of being crewed by just the 4 of us.
Well, a crew of 10 is generally needs a crew of 10.
Is that in the rules? Is it?
That's for a standard airship.
Ah, right. Okay.
We could probably get something smaller. But I mean, like we could get a couple crewed.
Right. So we're going for airship.
Hell, we could ask Init to join us, and we could have a travelling in.
Yeah.
And Init could run the airship and be our quartermaster. And we've had Bradley with us forever then.
That's fine.
And I could teach him magic.
Sonny's dancing for joy inside Rahu right now, hearing the thought of a travelling in.
Right. Okay. So we're going for airship and money, and if not, boat and money, or ship and money. Yep. Fine.
Okay. I did tell him to come back. Is he?
He's just like no.
just left.
Irenatio has gone to sleep. Yeah, I would like some nice shiny plate mail. I could do with my. Well, I mean, to be fair, my AC is pretty high. It could be higher though.
I've got quite a bit of money as well. So.
Okay. You were meant to split. Oh, hello.
Enter.
He sweeps in, and he sits down behind the table and says, "Have you come to some agreement?"
We've discussed it. Yes. We had considered land and titles, but in all honesty, with some of the things we've done, we think our time in Innisty might be coming to a close.
He nods.
So we thought maybe some way of travelling around about the world would be a good reward. Maybe some way of travelling above the water.
Good lord, boy. We would like an airship.
Fine.
We would like an airship and
what-
gold.
What? Yeah, fine. Yes, of course. What requirements have you for this vessel?
Well, we require at least 6 crew members. Because we believe it requires 10 people to crew.
Well, only if you want an enormous one. I'm very happy to find you one that only needs 4 people. Airships
yeah.
come in all shapes and sizes.
Oh, in that case, we'll take a medium sized.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. Why don't... I can't build you one because it will take a very long time.
That's understandable.
Sure.
So we'll go find you one that is already made. Perhaps... What's today? He's sort of counting his morning. Tonight is the ball, so not today, because we have to get you ready for it. But perhaps tomorrow, if you come to the gates of the barracks, I will have someone, not myself, I'm engaged, but I will have someone collect you, and they will have a negotiated price that they are allowed to just pay on behalf of the nation up to, and then you will go with them and you will sample whatever you see fit, and when you make a decision, then they will cut the check.
Okay. And we'll need gold for provisioning ourselves and the airship.
Certainly, yes. We'll make sure it's fully stocked. What kind of cash did you think you were needing? Of course, we're giving you a ship and provisions. We're being very generous, of course, but obviously we understand that lifestyle expenses are what they may. What sort of material sum did you have in mind?
Well, some items we require first are, well, we will be buying with this would be things like suits of plate mail. We require some diamonds. I require some magical and alchemical components. Roughly around 10,000.
Portable distillery.
You're back. I will see what I can do. That was a larger sum than we anticipated, given the other gifts that you.
Understandable. We did.
You understand we are.
I find myself considering the following. I will take this away, and I will speak to His Majesty, who of course has ultimate authority over the coffers of the kingdom.
Of course.
Perhaps tonight at the gala we can speak again, and what we will agree is a fixed limit on what you can find and what we can give you. And if all of that goes to the ship and the provisions, fine. If there's anything left over, you can take the rest as cash.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Agreed.
And he stands to shake your hands.
I shake his hand.
Yep, he shakes your hands in turn. And he sits back down again and he says, now that that's concluded, and he writes all that, pencils it down.
Oh, there's one more thing.
Of course.
I'd like to set up a private meal. Made by the best chefs that you have. Between the princess and
When did you envision this meal would take place?
well, obviously tonight there's a banquet.
Tonight,
Maybe tomorrow.
we're all engaged.
Yeah, or maybe tomorrow or in the next few days before we
Fine.
leave.
Well, I will speak to.
If she wishes,
certainly.
having seen them, I'm sure she will. But yes, I would like to set up a small private dinner for the two of them.
I will speak to the butler and see what can be arranged through her lady's maid. Schedule is, but I'm assuming it's rather clear considering she was supposed to be dead. So I'm sure her social calendar is probably a bit open. But I will speak to her staff, and we will see what arrangements can be made. And again, we will come back to you on that. Will you be staying at your usual inn?
If they'll have us, yes.
Yes.
Very good. Well,
If not, we will leave instructions to.
We will send for you there and redirect as appropriate. We will send someone to you this afternoon to make you ready for the ball. I appreciate you probably do not have all of the vestments that one might require for such an occasion. We will be happy to provide them. He will join you at your inn probably around 3. His name is Zhao, and you may expect him. Now, there is one final thing that we must discuss. What are we to do about the monk? Naturally, his involvement in the princess's affair is the same pardon as you've been given. There's no question of that. But he has murdered 2 town guards.
Yes. This is part of the reason we feel our time in Amnesty is done.
Yeah, that's why we're leaving.
Perhaps you could overlook the crimes, considering that we are going to be leaving this land shortly.
I mean, the overlooking is different. He's already been pardoned, but obviously there's a lot of ill will.
Yes.
In his direction is, I think, the point we're getting at, isn't it?
Now, what I must, and I do hate to be pedantic, but he's been pardoned for the crimes allegedly associated with the princess's resurrection, which this was not a part of.
Yes, he's not been pardoned for.
Oops,
sorry, I'm cutting it again. Yeah, he's not been pardoned for these crimes.
No.
But I'm sure that he will be, or will be given a reduced sentencing, considering the things we went through. Have you ever tried to plunder the catacombs of a dead necromancer?
I appreciate the stress that you've been under, but my concern is, you know, these are my men.
Yes, I understand that, and he will pay for them in some way.
What justice would we give their families, their children? These are men doing their job quietly, keeping the public safe.
We take exile.
I will take this to the king as well. Only he has the power to pardon. The courts may grant transportation, but you must understand, if you are to choose this, you may never return.
Provided that you provide us with the rewards aforesaid.
So that is not questioned.
Sure.
Course, you'll be provisioned well as our thanks.
I believe I can speak for my friends when I say exile would be a small price to pay in lieu of whatever other sentence might be put upon Sunny, or whoever Sunny is now.
I think Sunny, well, Rahu or Sunny battling out to try and who would speak here would be arguing over the thoughts of never seeing Bradley again, and maybe accepting that should be Sunny and Rahu's fate, but you three, his 3 companions, he feels it's unfair that you're being tainted by his actions, and that perhaps that exile and never to return should only be reserved for him, surely. And he relays that argument as well.
Does he say that?
Yeah, he relays that argument that surely this exile should only be for him. He's the only one that's committed a crime.
Yeah, the crimes are yours, monk, and you will forgive me for saying so. If exile is to be applied, I feel that would be the accurate application of it. I do not think this would affect your compatriots.
Good, and he's happy. Rahu's happy with that.
Good. Gentlemen, if there's nothing else, I have your paperwork here. Now, there's a spot of bother. Technically, the monk has to stay.
I'm sure he'll be fine in our care.
As heroes of the realm.
Yes.
We've proven ourselves more than capable.
He looks at Sonny and he says, I'll make you a deal. Report to the gala tonight, or your punishment shall be meted on the rest of your party as well.
So Sonny has to attend the gala, yeah?
You are released on your own recognizance on the proviso that you come to the gala, or I will exile the entire group.
That's acceptable.
Good. And he stands to shake your hand.
And I shake his hand.
And he says, very good. Now, a guard will see you out, and you may collect your personal effects on the way. I look forward to seeing you at this evening's party. One final thing. No, we talked about that. Never mind.
Great.
No, never mind. I'm just so excited. Right, off you go, and I will see you this evening.
In that case, I think we need to head to a Wink and Nail House.
So before you immediately head there, a guard enters at his knock, and leads you out of the guardhouse and down the passageways. And you go back to that the check-in, and you get everything back. Not one thing has been touched or stolen. Everything's in immaculate condition. You even get a receipt for your trouble. So everybody mark a receipt in their inventory.
Yes.
They show you towards the door, and the gates open, and the gates shut, and you are now free men. Kind of. Sonny's kind of under house arrest.
He's on bail, yeah.
He's on bail. But yeah, the rest of you are free men.
Well, if our airship plan is to go as we hope it will, we better speak to Init and Bradley.
Are you heading back to Wink and Nail House?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Very good.
Especially might be one of the last times that Sonny ever gets to see Bradley again.
So
Maybe.
You walk in, and it looks over at you and says, "So did you bring the guard? Someone's supposed to be coming here to give me a shitload of money."
They'll be around presently. We've just been released ourselves.
Oops, sorry, I'm trying again.
And I expect that you'll be wanting to stay here again, won't you?
I guess if you'll have us.
I'll think about it.
Hmm.
Let's see how big this guard's pockets are.
Well, speaking of pockets, we have a proposition.
She sort of sits back on her heels and crosses her arms and my brow rather.
We need the cook, and we need Bradley here as well.
And she says, "Bradley, Grumio," and Bradley comes darting out. "Oh, hi guys!" And
Hey,
comes
Bradley.
out and gives Sonny a little wave.
Yeah. What's the cook's name?
Grumio.
Grumio. Don't think we've ever, or if we have, I forgot it.
No, I don't think you've ever.
Grumio,
No.
Grumio.
We're for.
They're out though.
Now, we are in the process of procuring an airship. We plan to leave. To some of you, this will be sad. To some of you, this may be a welcome relief. But
And
yes.
yeah, blinks.
However, we have come to, how do I say this, appreciate your company, and have talked it over with our friends, and we thought maybe you would like to accompany us on our airship and perhaps run your inn there, or rather a mobile inn of sorts, as we travel around the lands. And of course we will help upkeep the place, and you'll be provided for. We just could really use your services and your companionship on the roads to come.
She sits down and she smooths out her apron over her dress, and she
Oh.
she looks up at you and she says, "Why would I leave?
Yeah.
I got a good thing going here."
Well,
Some people like to travel. Look at Bradley. He could do with getting out and seeing the world a little bit.
That
Yes.
I don't disagree with.
Might
Well-
get him away from the brats.
Is there anyone
There
you
aren't many in the sky.
is there anyone you trust to manage this place in your absence? Perhaps just trial it with us for a year.
a year, a long trial.
And she says, let me speak. I can only speak for myself. And she looks at Bradley and Grumio as she says that. And she says, your decisions are your own. I will see if I can speak with my sister. If she can look after the place and the price is right, then we'll see.
This is not a group decision. I mean, it would be best if you made it as a group. But if one of you does wish to come, with,
And
we would be willing.
She nods.
not-
She says, "No." And
it's
she
not-
looks at Bradley and Grumio and says, if you want to go, go. Don't stay. I can only speak for myself." And Bradley says, "Oh."
Now, Bradley, remember, we took you out the fighting pit. No, you weren't in the fighting pits. Took you out the slums. And I know you've had fun here, but we would really like it if you came with us and kept us company while we, travel the world, essentially. You get to see all the places that we go to.
But also, don't make this decision lightly. There could be
No.
danger involved.
Yes.
And Enid walks over and puts her hand on his head and says, "I'll speak to him about it."
Okay. Thank you.
And Grumio kind of sniffs and he looks a little sad, and he says, "I forgot what his voice was."
I don't know if he did he have one?
No, yeah, it's because he spoke to Sunny.
Oh,
He
that's
talked to
right,
Sunny
yeah.
once.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what it
yeah.
was. It's gonna be just gruff. I sure would like to come with you, but I'm sorry to say that my answer's easy. I just can't. I've got obligations here in Baston. I've got a house. I got a family.
Okay. That's fair, Grumio. Thank you, though.
Thank you. And he sort of wipes his greasy hands on his apron, and he sticks out a big meaty paw to shake your hand.
I'll let Thalo shake that one.
He gets
Yeah.
he gets a little grease on your hand. It smells vaguely of bacon.
Nice.
And,
Dwarfs like that. It's fine.
You hear a guard sticks his head in and says, "Hello, is this a wink in an ale house?"
That's what the sign says. Come in.
And he comes in and he's got like a clipboard with him, and he walks over and he says, "Hi, I'm
Hi.
Harry. Hi, Harry. Hi."
Nice to meet you, Harry. I believe you're looking for this look.
And
He's going to give you a very large figure, and you're going to nod.
and he says, "Oh well, I'll see what I can do." What was it? It's Enid. What? Oh, Enid. Okay. What? Do you have your? And she says, "Yes, I do. If you'll just excuse me." And she walks out to the back, and she comes back with 2 big scrolls and some specs on, and she rolls them out on the table, and starts looking them over, and says, "You're going to want to write this down. Now, I can see the daily maintenance and the food, the wages for Bradley and for Grumio. So that's around 35 gold pieces per day across 9 days. And then also
10
we have to
days.
factor in 10 days. Thank you very much. And then also we have to factor in lost profits. And so I'm gonna just look at the 3, 6, 3, 4. So
I
that's
believe
about
there
4.
was some emotional hardship as well. in
I
it.
quite
So-
agree. So the
yeah.
profits alone are around 4p a day over 10 days, and then I've got pain and trauma. Hurt my back a little bit, so there'll be damages on that.
Reputation.
Young boy arrested, reputation.
I don't know who would stay at this inn now.
Yeah.
And so she's sort of making notes, and she says, "I think 8,000 gold pieces should about cover it." And
Shit.
Wow, and
Rahu spits out some of his beer that he was sipping on.
I do a bit of a Dutch spit take as well. What?
And the guy looks down and he says, "Well, I hope you don't mind if I double check some of your figures." I guess. And he starts going over and he's making quick notes with a quill and ink's flying as he's doing some arithmetic.
Does his face just keep dropping the further down his page you go?
Oh yeah. And by the end of it, he says, "Okay. Do you have where can we send the sum?" And she says, "Well, you can send it to my account at the bank in town." And he says, "All right. Well, that'll be with you Monday morning. You have yourself a great day." And he shakes everybody's hands again, and he minces out.
Minces.
He minces out.
And the door shuts behind him with a click, and it rolls up the things, and she looks like a pig in shit.
Should we have a drink in it?
And she says, "I think that's a great idea." And she says, "Whatever you want." And she points to the bar, and she's, "I'm gonna put these away. There's nobody else in the inn."
Ah, Taylor goes and gets himself an ale.
Yep.
I'll get myself a fine whiskey.
Yeah, you do.
Valoran will probably have an ale and a whiskey.
So you spend the. Oh, what does Rahu have?
I
He had a beer.
I was just
Where
asking.
did he get a beer?
see, he always has a beer in his hand.
He's got the hat on. He knows.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps the hat. He says to Enid, "What's that behind the bar?"
And she looks and she says, "What this one?"
Yeah,
She
that
pulls
one.
out a fine bottle, and she says, "I had someone give me this once. He said it was really expensive, but I've never actually opened it. Do you know anything about this?" And she hands it to you. Roll an investigation check.
Oh, that's 19.
That'll do.
Yeah, I don't know what else I add to that.
You look and you see that this is a very rare bottle of elvish mead.
Ooh.
And
I
it's
love mead.
very expensive.
How expensive is very expensive?
It would probably cost 500 gold.
For the bottle?
Well, no, mostly for the contents inside.
Okay.
While
I think
Sunny's just watching, while Rahu is just examining this bottle, I will just be like looking at Taylor, trying to get his attention, as just watch what's going to happen here.
Okay, I notice and watch.
Yeah.
Can I do? I think with the prospect of Bradley joining them on an airship that's going to be a mobile inn, the prospect of potentially having his own mobile distillery on board, Ennett, the running that inn, is about to have a drink of elvish mead. I think Sunny would be having it need perhaps a battle against Rahu to see if he can come back and.
Why don't you do a contest of will?
So how would I do that? A constitution roll from each of them?
I would say if it's mental, I would contest your.
Would it be an intelligence versus a wisdom check?
I was going to say a charisma versus a
Ooh,
wisdom.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
Also personality versus
Versus
Raw,
the basis.
raw mental ability.
Exactly.
so wisdom for Sunny, you mean?
I would say it'll be wisdom for Sunny to combat Rahu's.
Okay,
charisma.
so Sunny's rolling and gets a natural 20 on his wisdom, and Rahu's rolling on his charisma and gets 17 plus 1.
Yeah,
So
Sunny's back,
Sunny's
baby.
back. And he would reveal to Ennett what exactly this is. He'd probably reel off some long story of how it's produced, and but we'll come clean that it's very, very expensive. And are you sure I can open this?
And she says, "Fuck it."
Wow. Well, and it real sailor mouth you got on you there.
And she says, "You don't run an inn for
Point taken.
more years than I'd care to mention to you." Then, without a few swears, I'm sorry to say. Now, enjoy yourselves. I'm going to go tidy up something at the back. And she slinks away. And you spend the time. You spend the afternoon getting blitzed.
Yeah.
And,
I'll only have a tiny bit. I'm not getting blitzed. I just
Very
want to
good. Well,
taste
Sonny's-
just to say that I've had it, but
Sonny's just blackout drunk.
Yeah, well, I guess Sunny would have a chat with the guys and explain that he's back, and I understand
Yeah.
you've spoken to Rahu.
So yes, what is this? Thaler would like to ask. Sunny, I can see your eyes. I can see you. But who? Sorry, I was trying not to rhyme. But who was Rahu?
Who was Rahu? And Sunny explains that Rahu has always been there since the day that his village was collapsed into the mines, and that traumatic day of seeing his family and everyone die. And Rahu came to him that day and has always been there in the background occasionally when he's been bullied or had to experience in the first few days before he joined the monastery, and some of the abuses experienced on the streets of the city. Rahu would come forward and protect him at times when Sunny can't. And over recent years, he's just been there in the background. In the happy days of being in the monastery, he never came forwards, but occasionally on his adventures, Rahu comes forward, and Sunny takes a back seat to let Rahu deal with sometimes in this career and this world we have to do things that we don't feel comfortable with, and Rahu helps me when I have to do those things.
So Josh would like to ask, is he considered a separate character then with his own stuff, or?
I think the only thing with Alex's permission, I was thinking that maybe he is chaotic neutral, so follows his own whims and his own personal freedoms above all else.
So
when
still
he's
a monk and
at the
everything,
forefront. Yeah. So I think Rahu is less interested, or probably not interested at all, in Sunny's. He would call it an absurd belief in trying to find his god's elixir, alcoholic elixir that will bring peace to the world. He thinks that's a bit of a joke and pointless, but I think that's maybe, and his outlook on dealing with some of the things that maybe Sunny would, as a lawfully good person, he would be able to make those decisions.
Fair enough.
Maybe Sunny's just mad.
Maybe so. Although Thaler has seen things like this working at a temple that heals people, he's seen many things, so he's aware of such things, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
he's still a bit cautious, but
your characters don't know this, but Sunny's backstory is that it was actually he witnessed demons dragging the town, his village, in underground. So I guess the question is Rahu just an element of Sunny's psyche, or is it something else that's in there with him from that day?
Fair enough. Well, I'm guessing Thaler and Sunny and everybody discussed this for a while, and
suddenly a knock at the door.
Yeah, hi.
So you hear a knock at the door, and in walks a human man. He's this is the most ridiculous name that Wizards of the Coast have ever come up with for a race of humans. He's a Mulan man.
Oh God!
So he's you can imagine.
Get the Disney tunes there.
He is, I'd say, about 60 years old, and he is flawlessly groomed. His trim figure is complemented by a razor-sharp mustache. His shock white hair is pulled back in a bit of a bouffant. It's beautiful, and he's just dripping in finery. And he
I will look suitably impressed.
He comes in and he says, "My friends, I am Zhao Coco."
Wow, that's a drag name I've ever heard one. Hello.
His Majesty has personally commanded I should ensure you have everything you need for tonight's little soiree.
Well, Mr. What is this a Chinese name? Is it Mr. Zhao or Mr. Coco?
Mr. Coco.
Mr. Coco. Mr. Coco. Thank you for coming. I guess preparations should be underway. I'm sorry, but my friends and I have been drinking a little. We Yeah, go. Sure, let's do it.
No matter. If you'll join me outside. And he twirls around and walks out to the street.
I guess Thaler is not even thinking. He's a little bit tipsy, so he follows.
Yeah. So
I'll follow first because I'm well impressed by the way this man's dressed.
So you come out, and in the street is, I'm sure there's a more politically correct name for it, but I don't know what it is if it is. So you can cut this out of the Twitch. There's a gypsy wagon.
I think that's safe enough.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
One of
I mean,
those,
traveller wagon would be.
traveler
the only
wagon.
way.
Yes,
One of
yes.
those rounded top ones.
Yes, yes.
With a horse that is groomed as well as its owner, with a mane that's all done up in knots, and a perfectly trimmed coat, and a tail that's just luxurious. And this wagon, he walks around to the back of it, and he opens a door, and stairs sort of spill out, little wooden stairs, and he walks inside.
Taylor follows.
I'm writing.
Yeah.
You come in and you see. So the door at the back opens. You walk in, and one wall is lined with opulent, rich bolts of fabric. Every color you could imagine, just these bolts of fabric. And at the very back is a small workbench with a little lantern and 3 mirrors. And at the other wall, the opposite wall, is all just cupboards and panels. And he says, "Who shall be first?"
I will.
Very good. The others can lounge here. And he pulls a lever, and one of the panels opens, and the side of the cart falls away. And a table and 2 chairs fold out from this intricate woodwork as the side of the cart expands. And with a flourish, he produces a bottle of wine and a small cheese plate, as well as 3 finely engraved crystal goblets. And he seats them all down.
Excuse me, Zhao. Who designed your trailer, and have they ever done airships?
I did it myself.
Well, I might need to speak to you in the coming days because this is incredible.
Well,
Fantastic
he
space
reaches
saving.
back and he pulls out like a little strip of parchment with his details on where you can find him in his wagon. He has like a base of operations. He just goes out with these, and he gives you, and he says, "Now you shall be first. What are we wearing?"
Oh, I usually wear something wizardrous.
What color?
Some robes. I usually tend for a dark blue to a purple. What do you
Okay.
recommend would go with my skin tone and eyes? I really want to pop.
What color are your eyes?
Shit.
Check the character sheet.
Well, I am doing brown, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. And he
Brown.
says,
I'm all brown. I'm just a big brown, handsome man.
Well,
I think I have just the thing. And he
Silver. I like silver rather than gold. I find gold a bit gaudy.
starts pulling things off the shelf and sort of draping them over you different. And he says, "Now this one is very special." And he says, "But only the finest for a royal command." And he pulls it out, and it's this sumptuous, beautiful midnight blue fabric. And in it are these tiny twinkling stars that are actually twinkling. And he says, "I got this some years ago. It's a perfectly ordinary fabric, but it's got starlight woven into it.
Oh, it is divine.
I think it would suit you quite well. Do you like a flowy thing or more close cut?"
I'm more of a close cut.
Very good, right. And he sort of lays that to the side and he says, "Now, for the subject of your mask."
Oh.
What, it's tradition in Anisti at a masked ball to wear an animal. What would you like?
Oh, I'm not a big mask fan. I always say when you look this good, don't cover it.
He chuckles.
But if I were gonna pick a particular animal, I would say I am intelligent and graceful, proud, noble. What do you recommend?
But I asked you.
Oh well, the something.
There's no wrong answer.
There's definitely a wrong answer, Alex.
He's a penguin.
Don't make me a penguin.
You shall be a sea slug, noblest of all God's creatures.
Yes, the single-celled Paramecia.
I will be the proud eagle.
And he looks you up and down, and he goes, "Very well." And he starts cutting and stitching, and he works on it for a little bit. And he starts pulling some leather scraps off and gets some stuff, and he says, and takes your measurements all over, and he says, "I think I've got a good start. Who's next?"
Taylor.
Very good. And he looks down at you and says, "And what will we be wearing?"
Well, do you know, I've been thinking about now that I know that you've got all these fabrics and everything. I was actually already thinking about some new, fancy robes for a cleric. I mean, I am a cleric after all. I can't be too ostentatious, but I was thinking something that signified my status and
Mastiff.
Well, maybe not quite so much, but something, just a little thing, with some,
yes, yeah,
something like that.
What color?
Did you get your son to draw that?
No, that's as good as I can draw. Royal red. Some little gold details. Do you know? I don't want to tell you how to do your job. I just thought that might be nice. Oops, sorry, I cut out again. I'm not going to say that this has been in my head for a long time, but just maybe we could do it this way.
And he says, "By your command." And he swirls around and starts pulling things off the wall. And he calls over his shoulder as he does, "And what animal will we be tonight?"
Ah, crap.
And he's flurrying and going through these bolts of fabric.
Rat.
The noble rat. Oh, you'd be Bradley's favorite.
Yeah, and I'd die quickly. Damn. A dragon.
And he swirls around and he goes, "That's amazing."
I bet he does.
And he starts throwing it all together, and he starts taking your measurements, and he snip, 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 snip. And your fabric is this beautiful blood red. It's deep and intense, and the fabric is it's not heavy. It's very light, silken kind of fabric. And you can see that it's had spun gold sort of woven into it.
I mean, I'm not being particular, but sorry, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but do we get to keep these?
I don't.
I'm going to keep it.
Take return. Every piece
yeah.
is an artwork I make especially for you.
Okay, good, because I was going to keep it anyway. But
I have no use for this finery. And he goes back to Simpsons, and
Cool.
he says, "I'm gonna, as an out of character thing, I'll talk to Valor what he wants.
Okay.
If he's actually, depends on how far we get tonight. But but he turns and he says, "And you?"
So, Sonny, as the disgraced Royal Guard murderer, he would request something quite simply. What he'd like some pajamas. Are you happy with the yin yang symbol existing in this world, Alex?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Or if we want to call it something different. So he describes the yin yang symbol to Mr. Coco, and how one side represents light and how the other side represents dark, and how they're mixed together, and would like a pair of monkly pajamas, but very simple.
I've never made pajamas in my life.
Well,
I will make you something better. And he flies over to his bolts and he starts pulling things down. And he looks over his shoulder and he says, "And your animal?"
So the representation of yin and yang in animal form is a dragon and a tiger. So maybe the mask, a dragon one side and a tiger the other.
Yes.
Never heard a fashion designer get turned on before.
I was a bit worried by what was going to come next then, but
And he pulls all these fabrics down, and he's got this jet black fabric and this just beautiful ivory white fabric, and he makes you this this mask as well, and your mask is half a black dragon and half a white tiger, and all of these are made out of sort of leather that's been cut and dyed, so they fit quite comfortably onto your faces. Thalar and Sunny have full face masks, but Jordan's, he's just done you a half one.
Yep.
And you've got a prominent beak, and you look just sick.
Well, I'll call.
And he fixes up Valoran too. And he looks you up and down, all of you, and he says, "I think my work here is done."
I think you've done a wonderful job here, there.
Yes, Thalar's got a massive smile.
Yeah.
And he gives a very low bow. And he says, "Enjoy your evening."
Sunny bows respectably back.
Thalar's got a bad back, so he just nods.
And he pulls another lever, and he's the back up, and you've all enjoyed your wine and cheese, and he says one final thing, and he reaches into a compartment and he hands you all your invitations, which are just very beautiful paper with gold on the edges, and it says, "You are cordially invited to the blah, blah, blah." And he shows you out, and you step down off of the cart. He rolls up the stairs and he shuts the door, and he climbs up onto the front with his beautiful horse, and he says, "Gentlemen, good night." And he starts. And you are now alone on the street, looking fresh to death.
We so need that guy to retrofit our airship.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So what do you do? You've got probably a couple hours to kill before you're due at the palace.
Oh, I don't want to get these dirty.
I mean, I'm happy to go inside and wait.
Yeah,
Or
Jack.
go for
Carry
But
on.
no, I'll
Drink.
go.
Sorry.
I'll go
Sorry.
for a walk. I don't want to drink. I'll go for a walk, and I'll say I'll meet you. I'm just gonna go for a walk, and I'll meet you at the palace in due time.
I mean,
Thalar goes for a drink.
yeah, Sunny needs to. He sheepishly wants to keep a low profile. He feels everyone's looking at him out on
Valoran
the street.
will probably have a drink with the lads.
Fine. Good. Okay. So lads, go back in and have
Lads.
What does Jordan do?
Nothing. I really am just going for a walk.
Oh, just go for a little walk. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be
Probably-
to the side.
No, there was not a secret mission going on. But he'd probably be walking near the nicer area of town towards the palace direction.
Yep. So you sort of wend your way toward the palace. Boys, you carry on drinking a little longer, and then you get up and you start heading there yourself. And you all rendezvous on the way. And as you get up to the palace, the gates are thrown wide. Torches are burning brightly, and guards are in full dress regalia and standing at attention. And you can see a sergeant of the guard is checking invitations at the door. And as you approach, he puts out a hand for your invitations.
I'll just flash mine as I walk past.
And he gives you a nod.
As Thalar
They're not
hands...
personalized.
Ah, well, as Thalar hands his over,
And he sort of looks in the front and the back, and he hands it back.
and I saw him with torches and fireworks.
Oh, and he looks around and he checks you all in turn, and you hear him say, "Enjoy the party." And you head onto the grounds, and there's torches, like standing torches that light your path, lining the path. And there's other guests milling around in similar finery, chatting as they head inside. And the path directs you to a part of the castle that you've not seen before, as you've been here on your previous travels. Ooh, there we go. And eventually you get in a bit of a queue, and you come up towards two enormous doors. And you enter.
Ooh.
Wow, that's loud.
That's not too bad for me.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Sorry, I was adjusting the volume of that. There we go.
It reset to 100% for some reason. And so you enter into this beautiful ballroom, and it's got these sweeping stairs descending from the second level, joining together and spill onto the dance floor. There's candelabra and chandeliers illuminating the scene beautifully, and mirrors 30 feet high line the walls on both sides. The ceiling is all gilded and decorated with plaster in intricate patterns. There's some people in the center of the room. See if I can get that down to 1. There we go. There's some people in the center of the room, and they're all dancing waltzes, and those at the edges are drinking fine crystal glasses. And waiters are in simple but fine garments, and they wear uniform, full-face silver masks, and they're attending guests with trays of canapes. And you walk in, and everybody is wearing a different mask. Everybody is wearing a different outfit. And what do you do?
Well, Thalar's just a little bit relieved that it's an actual ball and not a trap to kill us or something.
We were in jail! How elaborate a plan do you need?
Well, I don't know. I thought we might step in. They're gonna be like, "Haha, it was all a ruse," and kill us.
Some kind of red wedding type situation. Suddy tries to find a dark corner to. I feel Suddy would be very reluctant to show himself dancing and enjoying himself when he's about to be thrown out of this town and never come back for killing 2 guards.
I'll say to Taylor, do you want to come and get a drink?
Yes, please.
And we'll walk off, and we'll get a drink, and I will say to Valoran, do you mind just standing with Sonny? He looks a bit shy.
And he says, "Sure." And
my accent is far better than.
You go over. Valoran goes over, I should say, and keeps Sunny company for a while.
He's
now,
just
Thalar,
trying to make small talk.
Yeah. Thalar and Jordan, you head over to the drinks table, and you make it over there. Jordan, you grab a drink, as does Thalar. But Jordan, your attention is distracted for a moment, as you are approached by a dwarven woman carrying a staff and wearing a mask shaped like an octopus. All of the tentacles of the octopus are moving. And you know, because you recognize the bottom half of her face, and her
and there probably aren't that many dwarven wizards around.
That it is Master Trollbender, and she says, "Well, good evening, wizard. May I say you're looking much better now than the last time we met."
Thank you, Master, and I feel much better.
I don't believe you've met Commander Morlius. Morlius, here, and you see a tall, 6-foot-tall man coming, and he's wearing a goat mask with these beautiful ram horns, 2 spirally ram horns on the side. And he comes over and he says, "Morlius, may I present Jornan, member wizard of our pavilion, and the one who helped with that demon coin problem. Jornan, this is Morlius, regional commander for the Inisti Watchmen." And he gives a low bow, and he removes his mask, and you can see that the horns are in fact attached to his head, because he's a tiefling, and he's got golden eyes and black hair and bright red skin. And he gives you a low bow and says, "Wizard Jordan."
Would I know that he has a title? Would he be Wizard Morlius or something like that?
Yeah, he's commander. She's just referenced him thusly.
Yeah, sorry. Commander, good to meet you.
And Master Trollbender turns back and says, "So, are the rest of your party here? Cause of all of, this."
Well, I don't like to do things quietly. Yes, my companion here is Stalar Dawnbringer, and over in the corner are Sunny Wukong and Valoran Antius or something like that. I think it's called Altariak. Yes. And sorry, as I'm introducing Thalar, I will introduce him as Thalar Dawnbringer,
Thank you. Yes.
cleric of Lathander.
Yes, thank you, and I bow.
And she gives you a nod and she says, "Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Jordan, if we get Sykes, he's
You've just got out there a second.
Oh, Jordan, if we get the chance, remind me to introduce you to Dean Sykes. He's the dean of our College of Enchantment. A very nice man. What is your college?
I dabble in many different colleges, but mainly I look at life energies and such.
So, necromancy?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if you ever find yourself in Gellum, you must go pay a visit to the pavilion at Eyeshole. Dean Meadows is a powerful necromancer in the world, and would really be an invaluable resource for you if you seriously consider pursuing it as your field.
Oh. Well, I'll certainly look into that. I know that necromancy can have a bad name or leave a bad taste in people's mouths, but there's no reason really why the study of life energy needs to be such a dark prospect for everyone. There's much we can learn from.
And she chuckles and she says, "I think you and Dean Meadows are going to get along just fine."
Thalar starts to look a little bit concerned.
Well, listen, come by my office tomorrow, Jordan. There's a new mission to discuss with you, and I'd love to hear about what happened down in Serme.
I don't think you will, but I will be happy to report in the morning, provided it's not too early, of course.
And she says, "Oh no, I never make a point of getting into work too early." And she gives herself a little laugh, and she gives you a nod and slides away. And
Good evening, Grandmaster.
Morlius gives you another low bow and also joins her.
It was nice to meet you, Commander Morlius.
Valoran, Sonny, you see Valoran, and he is approached by a woman wearing a large green dress, hoop dress, big skirt, and she's wearing a golden mask shaped like a doe.
Would Valoran recognize her?
Well, she's wearing a full face mask, so
I think he knows who it is.
But I think he knows who it is.
Yeah.
And she gives him a very low courtesy and goes to take his hand and motions to the dance floor.
He will take her hand and kiss it.
She titters.
Yeah.
And she.
Of course, my lady.
Oh God.
And she leads him to the dance floor.
Right. Well, I'll just have a quick moment with Sunny. Not Sunny, Taylor.
Hello.
Okay.
Just while we've got a moment, because I won't have noticed that Valoran's left him yet. I said, do we need to discuss Sunny at some point?
I would assume we do.
And how we move forward with this. It's not really my area of expertise. You're the healer.
I mean, in my experience of such things, it's rarely dangerous. It's usually just something you have to deal with. I mean, I don't think we're in any imminent danger from him. I think we're okay, but...
Do you think we can trust it?
That I can't tell you. Only Rahu can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound skeptical, but it's all very convenient, isn't it? I
mean, he's been through a lot. I mean, we hid and got locked up. He's been killing and, doing all normal experience. Did I cut out again? I think it's to be expected. I mean, maybe not all that common for it to happen, but I can certainly see why it's happened. But I would dare say we keep an eye on him for a good while.
Okay, and what if he can't be trusted?
Then we take matters into our own hands.
Okay, can I suggest you keep some way to pacify him?
I will look into it. I'll have to go through my... Yes, I will
try and see what...
Yes, we will prepare things for...
maybe if the two of us keep something that we could use.
Yes,
to pacify
I understand.
peacefully.
yes, I completely understand. I will make sure I look for my prayer books tonight, and well, maybe tomorrow night.
Maybe
And,
tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting much done tonight. Yes, that's fine.
Well, I
We'll
certainly
look
think
into it.
it's worth, and maybe we could do a bit more research into it.
I dare say I've got some books on the subject. I just need to find them because I don't know where they are.
I'm still rather angry at what he's done.
I mean, I got a bit caught up in what he was doing and may have been about to join him, but now with the light of day, I can see that there's something concerning going on. So yes, certainly we'll keep an eye on it and do our research. But I don't think we're under any imminent danger.
Very well.
I think we just enjoyed tonight.
Okay. And just for a moment, I'll smile and say, but it looks like one of us is certainly enjoying tonight more than the rest of us. And I'll just nod towards Lauren.
Starwipe.
Wow.
I don't know. Do I want to do Valoran's scene without him?
No, you don't have to. I just wanted to point out that he's there, and then I will go and stand with Sonny for a little bit.
Okay.
Sonny was watching you two talk, and Rahu is saying to Sonny, "You know they're talking about you, and they're worried about us." And Sonny said, "They're my friends. We can trust them. They just need to get to know you."
So they can talk to each other. I mean, obviously Thaler has no idea, but so it's like a Gollum situation. Gollum Smeagol.
That's apt. Thalar, you find yourself, now that Jornan's gone to stand with Sunny, you find yourself over by the drinks table, and you notice a Turami woman, and she's got these impeccable dreadlocks pulled back and down, and a very finely tailored, close-cut suit. And she's wearing a half mask on the top of her face in the form of this beautifully wrought skull. And she's just sort of leant up against the table. You can see from around her neck that she's got something, but you can't make it out from where you're standing.
Okay.
Go stare at her tits.
Yeah, that's a very Thalar thing to do. But Thalar is nothing if not, friendly. Milady, how fare you this evening?
And she looks over at you and she says, "Tolerable, thank you very much." Oh, I scared him away.
He's obviously not good with attractive women.
Wow. Yeah, not Thalar's wheelhouse. Yeah, I trust you've had a drink already.
She says, I don't partake, but...
Oh, my mistake, sorry.
And you see now, around her neck, she's got 3 keys on a necklace. One is shining gold and beautifully designed, and it glows with an inward light. One is pitted black metal and very jagged, and the last is just a simple silver plain key.
Milady, I hope you don't mind me noticing, but that's quite the individual necklace you've got there. I dare say there's a story behind it.
It's more utilitarian than anything.
Oh, well then, I mean...
I find I lose things if I don't keep them close.
Not being one to pry, but keeping such a thing on display around one's neck, I mean, it must have a very important use.
Well, they're keys, of course. They open all kinds of doors.
Of course, yes. I mean...
And you are?
Sorry. I am Thalar, Dawnbringer, Cleric of Lathander.
And she gives you a little nod, and she says, Sam.
Sam... That's just Sam?
Just Sam.
Okay, it's nice to meet you, Sam.
And you, Thalar.
No, but I mean, really, those keys are... I mean, what do they open? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a bit forward. I've had a bit to drink, they're so shiny.
And she says, well, now, that would be telling, and I don't think I know you well enough to tell you.
Well, of course. I mean, but who can you trust if not a cleric of Lathander?
Oh,
Big doe
dear,
eyes,
dear.
persuasion attempt, you know.
Yeah, no. She's not picking up what you're putting down there, stud.
Well, it's not, again, wrong target audience.
Are we... Yeah, let's do Valorans, actually. So, everything's been kind of happening concurrently with Valoran to what's just happened with Thalar. So, Sam hears what you say, and then looks up to the staircase, and you'll see why in a minute. So, smash cut to Valoran, who is dancing with Princess. And she says to him, oh, you look very fine tonight.
Thank you. I think he would have been telling her, or just like talking to her about his time in the gladiator pit, like that. And that's what he would have talked about.
She's very taken.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you. Now, my sweet, I must tell you something.
Anything, my love.
My father is going to make an announcement tonight, and I wanted you to hear it from me first. I hadn't troubled you with it when I thought I was to die, but now that my future lays before me, I must confess. My father has betrothed me to another, to help strengthen political ties. But
oh no!
the man I'm meant to marry...
Sorry, that caught me off guard.
The man I'm meant to marry is abhorrent, and has the most ghastly reputation, very violent towards women in the most sinful ways. I don't mind dying for my people, but to live with that monster, I simply cannot. Will you help me?
I promise you, princess, I will help you.
And she smiles and she holds him close. And
I've not done it for a while. I'm out of practice.
John Wayne.
John Wayne with a little bit of Forrest Gump.
Yes. Yes.
And you hear. She now looks up at the stairs, and you hear the king ding his glass, ding ding ding, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, please, if I can have your attention for a brief moment, I have a rather fabulous announcement to make. But before I do, I wanted to take a moment to remind us all why we're here. Just a few weeks ago, I sent a team of adventurers out to the mountains to speak to the seer about how to stop Chantea's curse. They fought off dragons, they scaled peaks, only to find that the solution was for my beloved daughter to die. Now, they were not satisfied with that answer. They spirited her away, fearing for her safety, and traveled far to plunge into the heart of the labyrinth under the lost city of Ptolemy. And there's a collective gasp. Battling legions of undead, striking at the heart of the Lich's lair, they stole back an artifact of immense power and transported it here to our own Abbot Hildebrand. There, they performed an arcane ritual and convinced the goddess Mishakal to intercede. My daughter died and is risen and joins us here today. Please join me in expressing our boundless gratitude to Thalar the Dawnbringer, the Wizard Jordan, Valoran Aldiatak, and Sunny Wukong. And there is rapturous applause, and everybody is looking at you. Yeah! Right, and
quietly not.
You are the center of fucking attention. He says, and that it goes on for about 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And he sort of motions with his hand. Says, "Thank you, very well done indeed. Our nation owes you a tremendous debt." Now,
after about 30 seconds of being people looking at me, I will be looking very uncomfortable.
Oh. Now that my daughter is whole and our nation healing, we must look forward. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to announce that my daughter is engaged to be married to Garland Meech, heir of Arturus Meech and the Duke of Melima. I am confident this alliance will forge a stronger way ahead for us and secure peace in our time. Now, enjoy the evening. Maestro! And the music starts up again, and everybody applauds, and the king comes down. He's wearing this fabulous lion's mane mask that he's sort of put on top of his head. And
what was the guy's name? Garland?
his name. I'll put it in the chat because you people can never spell anything that I do.
Well, that's because you speak American, mate. And if you spoke in English, give me these names in English, it wouldn't be a problem.
Nietzsche, son of Arturus Nietzsche.
And
Arturus Nietzsche sounds familiar.
oh, it shouldn't. I made it up. I hope I didn't.
No, we've not got an Arturus.
No.
I misheard and thought you said he was the heir or to the tourist beach. So seriously,
How prestigious.
Oh, sorry. It's a character of something else called Arturus Mensk.
What, StarCraft?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's very different.
What? Sorry.
But if that guy's also a baddie, it might not be very different.
Yeah. Let's check out. Let's check. Make sure
And
it's
this
not
is all very
Alex Soros.
subconscious, apparently.
Yeah.
I just went full meta. I
So
apologize.
you continue to have a beautiful evening. You drown in light and sound.
And alcohol.
While
And a lot of
I've been
alcohol.
stood next to Sonny, how is he looking? Is he looking a bit rough?
Sonny's looking very sheepish. He's maybe hopping around from foot to foot.
I won't really have spoke too much, but I will lean in after the announcement and everything. I will just lean in and say, "Do you need to get out of here?"
I think Sonny is aware that you've been angry with him, and he says, "No, I think we need to talk, don't we?"
We can do. Is now the time?
Yeah. And Sonny, he can appreciate that having revealed Rahu, or Rahu revealing himself to his friends, and killing 2 guards has put something between you two particularly. I know the other
I
character.
spoke with Thaler earlier about you.
Yes, I saw you talking together and thought you may be talking about me.
It would be safe to assume that, yeah. You dropped quite a large bomb on us this morning.
I hope it shows you how much I value our friendship and trust you to reveal Rahu, or allow
Did you
him.
tell us this only when it assured itself? This wasn't something you revealed to us out of trust.
I did relinquish some control and to allow him to help me deal with what I did. He's part of me. I'm part of him. We help each other. He's never doing. He's not evil, but we do have our differences. And I found him to be useful, and I'm sure when the time comes, you'll learn to like him as you do me, and you'll learn to trust him in different ways.
Okay. And how do we move forward then?
Well, we need to discuss the guards I killed. I know that was a mistake. I didn't mean to kill the first one. That was just a misplaced punch, or perhaps a correctly placed punch. I didn't mean to kill him, but these.
I mean, you say that, but you were very skilled in what you're doing. You are one of the best fighters among us, and that I've seen. It just seems odd to me that you would kill someone without meaning to. I've killed. We've all killed before, but generally I do it with intention and consideration.
I panicked. I tried to incapacitate him, but something went wrong. I don't know.
You know why I left you, don't you?
No.
I considered you the most capable of getting yourself out of the situation.
And I certainly did that, and it went wrong. I was pursued by soldiers with swords. I was cornered.
Well, if that's what had to happen for you to defend yourself,
I defended myself, and
maybe that's it.
it went wrong. And that poor man, who has a family for all I know, is now laying dead in the morgue.
Right. Well, this doesn't fix things. But thank you for being honest with me. You are still one of us. We will work this out.
Thank you, my friend. And like I said, I hope you can learn to befriend Rahu now you know he exists.
We'll see about that. But if you want to get out of here, let me know.
I think this is... I am very uncomfortable, but I think this is an appropriate punishment. My public discomfort in what I've done.
That you seem so uncomfortable is one of the reasons why I've not sought for you to be punished further. You do seem to regret it.
I do.
But maybe in the future we can try be a little bit more careful when it comes to people who don't need to die.
Yep, I will try my best to smash people's noses into their brains when only required.
I mean, with all means, as soon as somebody attacks us, you let loose with the full power of the flurry. Or stun them, if otherwise. I've seen you do that. That's impressive.
Thank you.
But we'll work it out. It'll just take time. But know this. Taylor and I are prepared to pacify you if we feel the need.
In what?
But I hope that need doesn't come. Peacefully.
Okay,
So we can speak.
Sonny,
We do not wish to harm you. You know that.
you mean Rahu, don't you?
I mean both of you.
We are one and the same.
I understand that.
So therefore, yes. If you need to restrain Rahu, that means restraining me.
Yes. I certainly hope it won't come to that, and that will be our last resort.
It won't. You will learn.
Until
You
we
will
can
learn to
rebuild-
trust him.
Until we can rebuild the relationship, that is the option we've got.
Rahu will only come to the front when I require him, or you ask for him.
Very well.
Gentlemen, I'm not interrupting, am I?
No, Your Majesty.
It's Irinatio.
Alright, sorry. He's still a Majesty.
It's hard with these masks. So
Yeah, I know.
He's a highness, but yeah, he's wearing
Sorry,
this.
of course, Captain.
He's wearing this this mask, and it's a buck, and it's got these huge golden antlers coming out the top of it. It's very ostentatious. And he says, "You'll be pleased to hear that I've spoken to His Majesty on your behalf, and he has agreed to all of your terms."
Oh. Sorry, Taylor's not there. But...
Do we have a
Felt disturbance in the force.
yes.
And he says, "I think it would only be appropriate to give the opportunity to purchase your airship and have it provisioned and kitted, and then you will be summarily asked to leave."
We'll be leaving before we're asked, thank you.
Very good. I will send one of our bookkeepers to escort you to the airship yards, where you will be able to pick up something. I think, and he kind of pats himself, and he pulls out a thing. He says, "You're looking for how many? How many to crew?"
How many do we need? I've not seen the size of it yet.
Well, there's many options. Anyway, you've been approved with airship, food, water, renovations, refurbishments, if you should need them, and petty cash, up to the sum of 30,000 gold pieces.
Very generous of the kingdom.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
The dwarf, just feeling
Super hearing.
From across the room, just like you move that.
the dwarf heard gold and just went, what?
Sonny, who didn't have a beer in his hand, reaches
one out anyway.
reaches for one of a waiter that's passing by, takes a sip, and then spits it out.
I trust that the kingdom has been sufficiently generous to suit your needs.
Certainly has. Thank you, and thank you, your brother, His Highness.
Majesty. Anyway, I will leave you now. Good evening, gentlemen. Enjoy
Have a
your
good
night.
evening.
And he you see exactly where he goes because the antlers are so fucking. But he retreats into the throng. Is there anyone else you want to see? Anything else you need to do while you're here at the party?
I'll just see if I can catch the queen anywhere.
You see who you assume to be the queen standing next to her husband. She is wearing a fox. But I suppose a vixen would be more likely.
I'm picturing Garth from Wayne's World's foxy lady dance now.
It's much nicer.
Can I approach and just give her a half bow before him and see if they'll let me come?
She she sees you and she gives a low curtsy, and the king sees you and he says, the wizard, yes. What was your name?
Gionan, Your Majesty.
John, yes, of course. I did say that earlier, didn't I? You will forgive me. It's been rather
It's a fine occasion, Your Majesty.
Thank you. Yes. Well, it's very good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. My brother has spoken to me about what we're organizing for you, and I think it sounds most satisfactory.
And more than generous, Your Majesty. Thank you very much.
Our infinite gratitude can only be expressed so far, I'm afraid, but I hope it will suit.
Yes, I just wish for a moment to speak to the Queen, if I may. It doesn't need to be private. I just wish to thank her for her trust and to apologise for any distress we may have caused. I know the plan changed once or twice.
And he says, "No, please, of course." And he steps away, and you are alone with the Queen. Well, alone in a room full of hundreds of people, but you are alone with the Queen.
I just wish to say thank you, Your Majesty, for your trust, and sorry for any distress we may have caused. I know the plan was not quite as straightforward as we made out.
Your plan has surpassed my wildest expectations. I must thank you for everything you have done, and whatever distress was caused along the way is immaterial compared to the gift you have given me of my daughter.
It was nothing. Well, it was a lot of things, but
she leans in and she gently kisses you on the forehead, and then she retreats.
Oh,
all right.
how bizarre!
I just want to turn to Valoran with another shitty grin. You got a princess? I'll get the queen. No, I'll return to my my compatriot. Where we will while away what I do.
And Thaler has now joined up with Sunny and Jordan.
As has Valoran. And you spend the rest of the evening in bliss. You drink, you make merry. It's a and after last call, everybody clears out, and you find your way back to a Wink and Nail house where you crash. And you take your long rest, and you wake up the next morning, and it's probably 11.
Were we meant to go to the ship? What was it? Something? Shipyard? Something?
I need to go and visit the pavilion.
Oh. Well.
I'll feel a little bit rough, but generally I won't have gone mental.
No, you'll be
Far
fine.
too-
You'll be
far
fine.
too many
You
people.
probably were up about 9. Actually, I tell you what. Here's a good compromise. I'm going to say that you were up at a reasonable hour, 7:30 or 8. So if you want to go to the pavilion before the boys wake up, you probably have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be that interested in visiting Arcane Secrets. I'll
No doubt.
I'll ruffle my pavilion symbol out of my pack. And
Yep.
Put it on, and I'll walk over there after a bite to eat.
Yep.
No,
so
I'll get street meat. I'll get meats off the morning
you
meat.
get some gray meat on a stick, and it's lovely.
Just what you want.
And you walk through town, and you head up to the pavilion, and you see the watchman standing outside the gates, and you pass through the wards with no ill effects. And you are in the pavilion now. You're in the center courtyard with the big oak tree.
Would I know the way to Trollbender?
No, you've never been in her office. You've only been in the library.
Can I find? Are the servants around, or is it? Everybody
you see
there
other
knows,
wizards, but there's no.
yeah, everybody
attendants.
there knows what they're doing now, don't they?
Yeah, they seem to be pretty confident.
Okay. Can you just remind me? What is it? Is it Trollbender?
Yeah.
Right. And then she is not commander, master.
Yeah.
Right. Excuse me. I'll just say to whoever passes.
Yeah.
Would you be able to point me in the direction of Master Trollbender's office, please? She requested to see me.
Yes, of course. If
Do you know if she's in this early yet? I know it was a late night.
Yes, I saw her come through. If you just go down and she gives directions on how to get there.
I'll
it's on
follow
the
those
third floor.
directions.
And you do, and you make it to a wooden door, and on the door, on the plaque just says Trollbender.
I'll give her a knock.
And you hear her say, "Come in."
I'll walk in and I'll give myself a little head bop.
And she says, Jordan.
Morning, Commander. Morning, Master.
Sit.
Yeah.
And she sits down on the other side of her desk, and she puts her feet up on the desk, and she says, "So, tell me everything about Cerme's lair."
What a eventful time. A horrid place, really. We travelled for a few days. Got in there. We came across some strange phenomenon where I don't know if it was planned or not, but I believe some of the walls moved and we were led further and deeper into the catacombs. We came across a strange shadows-like substance which seemed to be able to draw on memories. I don't know if you've ever come across anything like that.
She sort of strokes her chin, and she says, "What did you find down there?"
Well, each of us we were given, given's the wrong word, but each of us experienced a moment from our past, well, for what I know for me to be a life-changing moment from our past, that seemed as real as possible, so real that it killed one of our companions, in fact. As it took the form of a vampire lord that they'd slain once before, and he was a cleric, so I presume he'd done the right job in slaying it, and the odds of it coming back. We also met a strange man down there who impersonated almost perfectly Welfer, the Wizard of Broadhaven, who, as you already know, I reported his death when we brought the gem of Circus the first time we came. He was able to impersonate Welfer to such a degree that we were fooled for 2 days almost. He was able to allay suspicions. He knew memories of Welfer's, but in the end, it turns out he was just a thief who'd been down there too long. And when he finally died, his body gave off this shadow-like substance that seemed to be what was forming into many of the shapes and experiences that we had. I'd never seen or heard of anything like it before.
Indeed. I don't know. I know that Serme was powerful, a powerful lich. It seems beyond his capabilities.
Well, that was when we first when we started to suspect Welfer of not being himself. I had thought that it might have been a shade of Serme playing games with us. Something so powerful, at least, that it would make sense that he could do these things.
Did you find anything down there of his?
We took from a puzzle. We took some spheres as part of the puzzle. It was a weighted puzzle, so. But there were spheres of different materials, some valuable, some less valuable. That some had to be placed in.
Were there any unrecognized symbols on these spheres?
I don't recognise all of them. One or two made sense afterwards. You may tell I'm a little bit older than I was before.
Yes, I had noticed. What happened there?
This was part of the puzzle. We thought we had solved the riddle, and part of that involved me giving up a few years of my life.
Well, and she waves her hand. She kind of reaches a hand out towards you and says, "Well, the good news is it's just a curse."
I thought as much, but I'm enjoying the respectability that age appears to give me.
How old are you now?
Well, I'd say I'd be about 25.
Oh boy, look out! You're nearly retirement. That's funny.
But
No,
I don't look like a fresh-faced child anymore. Let's say that.
She reaches down and pulls out a book that you recognize. She puts it right in front of you. It's 1001 Demons, and she says, "You recognize any of these?"
Do I recognize? You said I recognized it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did we look at the book when we were researching Thurkus?
You did, and you found Furcus's symbol.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I ever shared with you.
No.
But you also, as you flick through, you see the one from Serme's signature that I put on the...
Yeah, the circly
18th.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, I recognise this. This was with the puzzle. It was scratched under his name. It is his name, isn't it? This is the symbol and signature he used to go by.
She says, "Well, shit. No, that is not Serme's name."
Oh, I was given.
This is confirmed. I'm sorry to say, this has confirmed my suspicion. I think Serme had a coin.
A coin?
Like Furcus.
Right.
Ooh.
I think that was the source of his power. But we don't know much about him before he came to Anisti.
So you suspect that Thurkus made the deal that was given to... you suspect that Serme made the deal that was given to us?
I think so. And I think this demon, this Agenti, helped him to realize his dark vision. But the question is...
Who's pulling the strings?
Yes. And also, where's the coin now?
We found no such thing as a coin. The only items that we took out of there with us were like I say, a sphere of gold, of silver, and of mithril, and the resurrection gem, which we took to the Abbey of Mishakal.
In confirming my suspicions, you've created a perfect segue into my next topic, which was the subject of a mission that we must send you on as a member wizard of this pavilion.
You did speak of that, yes, last night, and I will be happy to undertake any any mission that the pavilion?
It is my understanding that the Crown is outfitting you with a method of transportation.
Yeah, we figured our time in Isti almost run its course, shall we say, with some of the things that had been done.
I don't disagree. Now, if you're to go, I will ask you to do me a favor. We believe... Now, this is a rumor. This is a hunch. I can't guarantee anything's going to come from this, but we've been given some information that suggests that Serme may have lived in, well, somewhere else before he came to Anisti. And we think that somewhere else was the Empire of Zahra, which you may or may not know, but it sits now underneath the shifting sands of the desert of Dimeramos.
I was raised near Demise. I know some of the area.
Yes. We need someone, or someones, to go to the desert and see if anything can be found that might connect Serme to the coin. The coin must be found at all costs.
And very well. Is there anything I need to know about this coin? Is there a specific way it might need to be transported? Is it of any danger to us?
Touch it.
That seems fair enough.
That's about it.
Very well.
All we know from what we could find from Furcus's coin was that it responds to touch.
Right. Yes, I remember that. Yes. I was able to transport it last time. There's no reason I wouldn't be able to do it again.
Be cautious, Wizard Jornan. This demon has been, if indeed it still exists, and if indeed we can find it, it will have been in this world for considerably longer than Serme. Or indeed, Furcus. It may not be quite so naive.
Very well. Would you be willing to show me the circle of nah. When we arrived, they drew the rune circles around it to just contain it.
What, the rune circle for?
To stop it affecting things. Do you remember when we arrived at the pavilion and they drew them?
The containment.
Yeah,
So,
just like a little containing circle. You said I would know more.
so Jordan would know.
Yeah,
Without,
but
probably needing to tell him. Jordan would know how to make, as a ritual, how to cast Magic Circle.
Yeah, right, okay. Right, that's very well. And have you any other quests while I'm here?
That is all I have for now. If you would like, I would recommend reporting to the pavilion in Malima. That is a good base of operations for any desert expedition. And the master there will certainly look after you. If you tell him that we've sent you. It's the duty of the pavilion to make sure that all of the missions are well looked after. So, good luck.
Pavilion of... Right, can you just repeat that? Medina? Is it on the map?
It is.
Right, okay.
Malima.
Malima.
¿Dónde está la carta?
And then last two questions, not for her, just specifically. Last time at the... Who was Master Sykes?
Dean Sykes was
Dean
the dean of the College of Magic of Enchantment.
That's the one.
So
who was Dean Meadows? He was a necromancer one.
Dean Meadows was the dean of Necromancy.
Right, and Dean Sykes, not Master Sykes. What was he the dean of, sorry?
Enchantment.
Enchantment. And where was Dean Meadows and Necromancy?
In the capital of Gellum, which is called Izehor, which is the center top country.
Yeah, there you go. Ah, got you.
Wait, what was the name of the country?
Gellum.
Gellum.
Oh, sorry. Okay, got it.
Izehor.
Yeah, Izehor.
Yeah, that's a bit yeah.
On the nose. Okay. trying to make notes properly this time so
Yeah.
that if I do the recap, I'm actually able to do it.
There's a lot to recap. There's a lot of
It is
names.
a lot, yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your time and your confidence, Master. I will see what I can do.
Good. I look forward to a sterling report.
Thank you. Be well.
And she shows you to the door.
And I'll leave.
Off you pop, back to Wink and Ale House, where everybody's woken. As you walk in, the boys are still upstairs getting ready for the day, but you see none other than Harry sitting at a table. He says, "Oh, hi!
Harry!
Twice in 2 days, aren't I the lucky one?"
Yeah, I remember you, buddy. Definitely.
I would hope so. It was only yesterday.
Right, okay. Chip in, boys.
Okay.
You've been here longer.
Tumble down the stairs.
Everybody remembers Harry, don't you?
Harry.
No.
Harry, we met yesterday.
Introduce yourself, Harry. These boys were so hammered last night. They've
Yeah,
never-
sorry.
Hi, Harry. Bookkeeper for Pavilion.
Oh,
for the
sorry.
guards, for the guards.
Yes. Hello.
One of them anyway. So came down yesterday. You were feeling a bit tired and emotional, as I helped to make sure that we got everyone on the right track with this this inn here. Anyway, I'm in charge of taking you to the air yards and making sure we get you all kitted out.
I say we don't delay a second. Let's go.
I knew that,
I knew that.
obviously.
Yeah. Completely remember.
He walks right outside where he has a cart waiting. And
Follow
he,
in the cart.
clambers into it, and he strikes up his horse and starts to pull away with all of you in tow. And you ride out of town, about 3 or 4 miles, and you pull up to an old quarry, which has since been mined out, but it is now the Bastion Air Yards, and so in dry dock and floating in this quarry below ground level are various sizes and shapes of airships, from the dinghy up to quite large and grand ones, and you see people kind of milling around. And in order to get down, there's a single sort of spiraling road, excuse me, and you can see these docks jutting out from the sides of it towards the center. And there's a gate, and Harry has a word with the man at the gate, and it opens, and you are able to start walking down and shopping for your airship.
This is exciting. So, Harry, you're privy to this deal we had with the king, correct?
I am.
Now, remind me, what was the deal?
We get 30,000 gold.
I see.
Your friend's right, and you spend it however you like. You can spend it all on the ship. You can spend a small bit on a tiny ship and take the rest as cash. I've got a certain mandate. You got up to 30 grand. You tell quick.
Cool. Very cool.
I want an airship. Let's go shopping. So
Montage. I just want a montage of us trying on different airships while the others are like drinking samosas and cocktails.
Someone's like
we come out laugh.
and someone's
Yeah.
pointing and laughing. And Sonny
Pretending
falls
to
off the
steer.
side, and, you know,
yeah, it's all very fun.
someone comes over and you're running away laughing. And 80s music plays in the background.
Yeah. Well, okay,
So
all
out,
that.
of, so out of character, out of game.
Yes.
Just describe your airship. Describe your perfect airship.
So if this is going to be our floating clubhouse, it needs to be big enough for when we land to invite people in
Yeah,
for
I'm thinking
drinks.
something like a sloop-sized ship.
Okay.
That is a word I don't know.
No, what is that?
A sloop's a type of ship.
Well, yeah. I got the ship part. I'll Google it. I need a picture. I'm a visual learner.
Yeah, so just Google sloop ship, you'll get the kind of idea. It's not like a warship size, but it's got a below deck and above deck.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually a poop deck.
Individual bedrooms? God.
It will, yeah. Well, we can outfit it with. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll have. But that's kind of the size I was thinking we would probably get. We probably wouldn't get like a galley.
No. We don't want. We're not. I mean, we're not going to be able to afford such a thing, probably. Yeah, something that's got 4 rooms and basically a common area. I would assume. A generously sized common area.
Oh well, that would probably be mainly the deck.
Well, okay, maybe a below deck common area, but for entertaining a couple guests. Taylor's got big dreams.
Do we?
Gonna have a chapel on one bit, a bit of a necromancer's store on another. It's gonna have a fighting
On
pit,
opposite ends.
and a distillery just in each corner each.
We need a kitchen.
Alright. He's not.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We need.
I believe they're called the galley.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not sailors yet.
Okay, I think. How much do you want to drop on it? How much do you want to save?
Up to 20. I'd say. Well, I don't know the going rates on station.
No, it helps me because it's not like I have a catalog of them.
No. But I was thinking a fairly large with fairly large with a below deck and above deck. Maybe a captain's cabin. You know.
Yeah. Okay. How about? I would say for 20 grand, you could get a ship that was probably 60 by 35.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah, that sounds more than reasonable.
Wait, what unit are we talking?
Feet.
Okay.
Maybe 65 by 35. You'd probably get a couple floors. I'd call it a captain's quarter and 5 passenger rooms with a common area, a galley, a dining. Probably have a study and like an open space on the main deck for either storage or crew quarters, something like that. And then you'd have a hold in the base of the deck,
And that-
in the very
that was-
bottom, and an
That was
engine.
for how much?
I'd say you could get one of those for 20 grand if you dropped 5 or 6 grand on renovations. Otherwise, it'd be more expensive.
So overall cost would be 25.
20 to get it like kitted out, yeah.
And-
And then you could take the rest as cash for
Are
whatever.
we going to get
And that
Coco
would include,
to?
that would include, you know, just stocking it with food and getting your balloon inflated and insurance and
Insurance.
Definitely
Yeah,
need
like-
insurance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Does it cover everything? Is it like comprehensive adventurers insurance?
Yeah, we own like third party fire and theft. So we
Yeah,
get,
there's a
premiums
lot.
are insane.
including acts of God. That's how good I
gonna
want
say-
that coverage.
Acts of God is a lot of what we do. So
Acts of gods. Thank you.
yes. Yeah, I think. How much does that leave us with? 5,000.
That doesn't leave us a lot.
No, I mean.
It doesn't leave you a lot. You've got 4 or 5 grand worth of cash in your
Yeah,
hand.
but Taylor's about to go out and spend 1,500 of it on the first day. I would like we need some magical diamonds at 500 quid, 500 gold each. We'd probably need about 3 of them, so that's 3 grand we've lost in the first hour of shopping that we're gonna do. That's without buying Taylor, without buying Valoran anything or Sonny anything he might need. I mean, we can make it work.
Taylor doesn't need anything but the plate. That's all he wants in life.
Well, you need the diamonds as well.
A floating pub in the sky
Oh.
with a distillery is all Sonny could ever want in his life.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
there's
distillery. Fuck, I forgot. Yeah.
There's no money for you. We can't have a distillery on a ship.
Gonna set the place on fire.
We'll leave
Your
one day and
insurance does not cover that.
we'll come back and will have blown up. From
I'm
your
getting
shonky
Hindenburg
whiskey.
visions.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure we could. I'm sure we could have something.
You can have a little
Yeah, on
moonshine still. Yeah.
deck. On deck.
Demijohns.
Yeah, you can have a couple.
Sure.
You can have a couple wine demijohns. How about that? No, we could probably get you a still on deck. You know, not where it's going to blow anything apart.
Where we can quickly push it off the side of it, cause problems.
Yeah, you had me at floating pub in the sky, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, and so that's 25,000 with it all kitted out.
I mean,
diamonds?
we can do
What?
that.
Is that with Coco? Is Coco doing the
Coco.
retrofitting for us?
Yes.
No.
I imagine he's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, he's very expensive.
I think we have to cut our losses with that one.
What about
You can always seek him out, I'm sure.
we could?
Yeah, we'll make more money and get it done again.
Do you know when cars get is it liveried up with companies'
Liveried,
names
yeah.
on the sign? We could always
We're not
have an advert sponsored by Coco.
I don't think he's that type.
We're not. Yeah, we're not. He doesn't need it.
He doesn't. Yeah, I think Zhao
If you know.
Coco's philosophy would be: if you have to advertise, you're clearly not.
Yeah.
If Coco doesn't want to sponsor us, we will go to his rival Pepsi and see what we can do.
Take -1 inspiration for that.
Thank you. So yeah, I think 25k. Thalar's plate armor, pretty please. And then we've got money for some diamonds for bringing people back to life, should we ever need it.
And I mean, yeah, that's my big concern is that we're low on
materials.
Material components for things. Some of my spells, some of your spells.
For Thalar's, we're mostly okay, apart from the diamond. Thalar has made sure that his spells don't use too much in the realms of actual physical stuff. But yeah, a diamond for Revivify.
Like, Revivify is going to be a big one, and I've got it, so we may as well too.
You do
That's
know
fine.
that Revivify only requires 300 GP worth of diamonds, not 500.
I've been reading Raised Dead. Well, anyway, we'll still need like 1 or 2 of those.
Okay, so we got.
I'm also going to propose something for the crew now that we've got our ship and everything. And yeah, I'm going to put my vote goes for on 25 grand on the ship. Are we all in favour?
Yes.
Yeah, and I did. Valor here,
Well, he's outvoted anyway.
He's outvoted anyway. I'm also going to suggest that we start a team kitty and a personal gold fund.
Yep, that's fine.
So we could have like a team kitty, and we'll divvy up some gold towards like personal funds if we just want to like buy drinks and get rooms and such, or well, not get rooms because that would count as the team gold. So things like material components, armor, anything like that would come out of just a big pot. So you could have some gold yourself, and we could keep a big pot, and then we could keep most of it with the ship.
We need to pay Ennet and Bradley if they accompany us.
Yeah, well, Ennet would probably be in charge of that. I don't think they're going to though. Also, this ship's a lot smaller than a floating inn that we may have promised.
Yeah, we may have to just. I mean, there are 5 bedrooms. We can maybe bring Bradley if he accepts, but
I mean,
maybe...
there would be crew quarters as well. There's some room for crew, didn't you say, Alex?
Yeah, so I would say what you would end up with is... No, I think you could pull something like that off, because you have captain's quarters, right, with double bed, I think. And then you have just like an open plan space for hammocks or bedrolls for, I'd say, probably 7 people.
Yeah.
And then down on the lower deck, you would have separate rooms, but I'd say each room would have 2 single beds. So I'd say you could probably sleep 10 downstairs.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you wish to, we can do that, but yeah.
How many people do we require to crew this thing?
This would probably take a crew. I'd have to think about that. I would say you're gonna need a pilot. You're gonna need a navigator. You're gonna probably 1.
Sonny's a navigator.
2.
That is
people
true.
for,
That is true.
I'd say you'd probably need 2 people to help with like the just the bits and bobs. Not the stoking. It'd be a magical end, but someone would have to fix it. So I think Jordan would probably be in charge of that.
Yeah.
You'd want to cook.
I mean,
you'd want this. You want that. I mean, I think you could probably. It'd be healthy to have 6, but you could probably skeleton crew it with 4 if you really had to.
So we're talking somewhere between 4 and 10 crew.
Yeah, I would say. Because
I would want.
I'd say max maybe 9 crew.
Right. Okay. Okay.
What?
Just
So
because otherwise
how-
you wouldn't really have anywhere to sleep.
How about
Yeah.
this? We look for a crew of 4, and then 4 like Marines, like guards
Oh, okay.
that could double up as crew, but are also semi-experienced fighters
Okay.
that we could look for as we go about the place, and we could offer these jobs out to people. Because
yeah.
if we're going to keep possessions on here, I would like to 1, trust the people that are doing it, and 2, I'd like it to be guarded every time we leave it. Otherwise, I'm not
Okay.
leaving it.
Do we have enough money for all this?
I mean, we'll pick up more gold.
Yeah. Okay. So
You've got enough money to buy it and
Yeah.
to get
Yes.
it nice, and
Yeah.
to get it yours.
that's done. We've granted.
That's
we're,
done
we're
and dusted.
protected.
The crew expenses. You tell me what you.
Right. Well,
Some expenses for you.
let's have a. Well,
Well, it needs to be built first. You've got some time.
Yeah,
So you don't need to solve all the world's
But
problems.
we'll have 2 dogs' bodies, a cook, and a captain.
There you
For
go.
now. Yeah, we'll get by with 4 just for now.
Okay.
Or should we go for 5? Yeah, we'll get by
Nah.
with 4. Because
Yeah.
we'll get by with 4, and we'll see what other people we're bringing on board. Because we've now got jobs we can offer out to people we want to keep around.
Okay. So yeah. So we just need to spend money on that, and
So yeah,
that's it.
so we'll buy that, please, Harry.
Right. So Harry makes all the arrangements, and this sort of gruff-looking dock man says, God, what's he gonna sound like? Right.
Right.
Well, he looks at the list that Harry's given him. It's gonna take a while to do all these things.
Understandable.
I'll say, come back in 3 weeks.
Okay, that's quite quick actually, all things
Um,
considered.
And he looks and he says, "Who's flying it?"
We'll be crewing it, taking interviews for crews.
Right. All right. And he writes something down. All right. No, that's fine.
Any issues you can find.
No,
us.
no. I just want to make sure people come and they buy these things and they don't know how to fly them.
Well, I don't know how to fly them. Do you know a good place to pick up to interview crew? Is there an airship crew bar that they all hang out in?
And he says, "Yeah. Yeah,
Is there a
is.
posting I can put up somewhere?
Yeah, they'll have a board there, or you can just
There you go.
just find them."
It's Sonny asks, would 3 weeks be enough for a skilled navigator to be able to learn how to fly an airship? Is there anywhere that I could learn that?
That'd be a bit of a crash course.
Please don't crash course my.
That's a little airship humour. No, I think it'd probably take a little longer than that. I'm sorry to say.
Don't worry, Sonny. I'm sure we can get.
But there's nothing you can't learn on the job.
I was gonna say not
He's
too
not
long.
learning that on the job. He can watch and learn, but he's not learning. He's not doing it. He's
Well,
not
I'll tell
trying
you
to-
what. Once you get up high enough, there's nothing to run in.
Well, yeah. I mean, he can probably have a blast then. you
Yeah,
know.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Here, I'll get your paperwork ready. I'll send it to man to your accommodations, and come back 3 weeks, and we'll get you all out.
Okay. In that case, I will get. Do we have the? Have we been given the gold? It's being sent to us now.
It'll be sent to the inn. But before you go, and he says, now, this next question has ruined friendships. It's destroyed marriages.
It's called Giannon's Fabulous Airship.
Right, I'll put that down then.
We'll get back
Yeah.
to that name.
Fine. You when you're ready, come back. When you pick up the ship, we'll paint it on the back.
Yeah.
And he scribbles something down. He signs it. He puts a stamp on it, and he gives a little part of that paper to Harry, who trades some stuff with him, and he walks off. And Harry says, "Right, well that's all done. The rest. Assume you don't have a bank account,
No.
so we'll just give it to you in cash. And
I'll spend it fairly quickly.
I don't doubt it. And if there's anything, fine people of the barracks at Baston, please don't call."
Harry, if you want to save yourself, counting out a bit of that extra gold, I'm looking. Well, we're looking for a suit of dwarven mail. a dwarven
Plate.
a suit of plate to fit this dwarf. If you want to send that instead of the gold, that's acceptable.
What you want? I mean, yeah, I'm sure I can find you something.
Yeah, I mean, well, it saves us. It saves you having to give us the gold, and then we just go out and carry it and spend it. You could just take it out of the value.
All right. Well, what are you looking to spend on it? I suppose.
Well,
He needs a very good suit.
yeah. I mean,
Functional, not ornamental.
you're a resourceful man, Harry. How much do you think you can get some plate mail for?
Well, I mean, it depends on, what you're looking for. I think you could probably get a decent set of plate mail, but it depends on what you want it made out of. I mean, I don't think we would have it here, but if you went to Axis, you could get a set of, full dragon plate armor. That's probably going to run you 20k.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking the basic metal plate is fine. I was thinking somewhere around the region of 1500.
Okay.
I've seen listings for such things around the town. I'm sure it's possible.
I'll tell you what. You leave it with me. What's your 15? You say 1500?
Yeah, 1500.
Yeah.
All right. You leave that with me. I'll send the rest as cash. Now you're you're a dwarf. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you of medium size?
Yes, I am of medium size. Yes.
Very good. All right. I think I can sort something out. For someone your size, it'll be made of steel. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. I've won worse.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, I'll get that off to the inn quick as I can. So.
Cool. Baylor's excited.
In that case, there will be roughly.
I had it written down. So yeah, we've spent 25.
3,500 left.
Yeah.
Which will be delivered to us. I will turn to Dale and say, do you want to? Should we try and buy some gems now?
Yeah, I think if we can. We should. Yes.
Okay.
Do towns generally have 600 gold of diamonds lying about?
Well, it's 2 diamonds, isn't it?
I suppose. Yeah.
Diamonds are pretty valuable.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point.
2,
To the jewelers.
3, 4. I have around 400 gold on this.
I
may have
don't.
obtained somewhere. Well, yes, I know.
You found some gold at some point that you were meant to share with me.
No, I give you money.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't.
It wasn't a lot of gold. It was a lot of silver and copper.
Oh, was it now? Okay.
I sent you a message, I think.
Oh, did you? I didn't know. Okay. Sorry, out of context, out of character.
Let me see, because I might not have done. But I've not got it on my sheet anymore, so I'll see what Alex sent me.
I don't think he told me about any money.
I know I did give you.
Because that was from our one shot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right, yeah. But anyway. So Taylor and I are going to buy some jewels. If anybody wishes to come with us, I mean, we can buy one now just for an emergency, and I need a gem.
Well, have one each just because if we can afford
one each.
Oh, we'll have to wait till the money comes through from what's his face.
Yeah.
That's fine. You get one.
Well, no, we'll get you one.
Okay. I suppose I've got the most health. I've been one alive longest.
I gave you 2,500 copper and 1,000 silver.
Okay, 2,500 copper and 1 silver. Thank you very much.
So 1,000 silver.
1,000 silver. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1,000 silver.
I mean, I kept much more than that, but so good.
Yeah.
You were unconscious, so you don't know that.
I was unconscious twice. That's fine.
Right, yeah, so I will go find a gem store, if I can, a jeweler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you make your way to the fancy district of town. And you find a nondescript little jewelry store. Everything's very sparkly in the window. And you walk in, and a little halfling man with half moon glasses and a very wrinkled face, turns around and he says, hello.
Hi. I'm in the market for a diamond.
Well, you've come to the right place. We sell all kinds of gemstones here.
Super. I'm looking for a diamond. A diamond. I'm looking to spend about 300 gold. A diamond. I've also got these gems I'd like to trade on. And I'll just empty my little pouch out. And there's a bloodstone, a carnelian, 2 chrysoprase.
Well,
and 2 zircons and 2 star rose quartzes.
He puts that on a little thing and he puts on his jeweler's lip and he looks.
They're worth about 50 gold each. Would that be the market value I would get for them?
He said, of this quality, I'd be more inclined to give you 5.
5?
35.
35 each.
Yes.
So what's that then? Can we make it 40?
How many are there?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 gems, you say?
Yeah.
I'll give you 300 for everything.
So would you take those in trade for a diamond?
He starts like sifting through and he says, I don't have any 300 gold diamonds. I've got this one. Tunk, and he puts a decently sized diamond on the thing. That's 150. And then he's level and he gets tunk, an even bigger diamond. He goes, that one, 500.
You don't have 2 of the little ones, do you?
And he goes down. He brings out another little 150. So you've got 2 150s.
That's what we're looking for. In that case, we'll have it. There'll be earrings instead of a neck piece.
Very wise choice, sir.
Do you craft your own jewelry on site?
Yes, I do. Do you need jewelry made for you, set for you?
Well, I was just wondering if you might like these for raw materials, and I'll bring out a softball-sized piece of mithril, and silver and gold. And I just wondered if these are of any worth to you.
And he picks them up and he looks at them with his jeweler's loupe and he turns them over in his hands and he says, why, yes.
Good. They're pure. So what value would you put on those?
And he knocks his ding 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 against them to see that they are indeed solid, and he sort of continues to polish and run a couple tests at least to see that they are indeed correct, and that's true, obviously. And he says, see here, and he starts weighing everything out, and he says, pound of gold. What did you give him? Gold, silver, and mithril?
Yeah. Mithril's the only one I'm expecting to be worth much.
Pound of silver, pound of mithril. You can have 5,000 gold.
That'll do.
Woo.
He toddles off to the back.
Does he come back?
He didn't take it. He's just turned in.
Yeah. I mean, does he come back so I can finish buying things?
You can see him dragging a big crate on like a rope, and he goes.
Before you start counting that out, we'll take all 3 diamonds. And
Okay.
I'm looking for a pearl. That's not how I'll search for that. I think it's 100 gold, is it? For identify.
I have this pearl, and he pulls it out, and he takes it in this beautiful, like, pistachio-sized pearl. And he says, this is 150 gold pieces.
That looks wonderful. I'd like it set, if possible, please.
In what?
into an amulet. In the
And he
basic.
pulls out like a tray of blanks. And there's some that are mundane, and then there's some that
I want
beautiful.
something like an eye.
Looks around. He
I'm
says.
looking for something a little bit like Doctor Strangey.
Yeah, of course.
Like
it'll
set-
be
set-
smaller. It'll be like
Yeah.
probably life size, eye size, because
Yeah.
based on the pearl. But he goes,
Yeah.
I
Or
can do that for you.
Eye of Ra type thing.
I can do a custom job. I don't have an eye made right now.
Right, very well. I mean, I've got time to wait.
Very good. And he puts the tray away, and he says it'll be ready for you in a week.
A week. Fantastic. Sailor, is there anything else you need while we're here? Oh, he's not here.
Sorry, no, it's not. I am back. I don't think so. Not from memory. Let me just have a very quick look. Where's the things? Holy water's fine.
Right, and how much will
Yeah,
that
we're
piece
fine.
be?
What?
How much will that piece be?
Well, to buy the pearl is 100. Set. He's gonna charge custom. He's gonna charge you another 150. So 300.
300, so that's 300, 300, and 500, isn't it?
Yeah.
Only I've
And-
got one of those 300s for. So it's 800 I'm buying, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll
And-
take my 4,200. Yeah, what were you saying?
Nope, that's it. No, I was saying Taylor doesn't need anything.
Okay. I'll take the diamonds. I'll take the 2 small ones in one hand and the big one in
Mm-hmm.
the other, and turn to Taylor and say, pick.
Wait, what?
Well, pick.
That one.
Right, you can have the 2 small ones then. I'll take the one big one and put it in my pouch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll take my gold. Boom. That was I didn't think the Mistral would be worth that much, but
Yeah, that's good for us.
This was fucking expensive.
well, I thought it would be, but I also thought there's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
no,
I,
that's
I,
a pound. It weighed a pound.
yeah, sweet.
That's
Okay,
how much
well,
it weighs per pound.
that's
Or
me.
is worth, I should say.
4,200 gold. And I think we're done shopping, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'll wait for Valoran to come back, but I have money if he wishes to buy anything. Sonny, do you need anything?
No, Sonny's happy.
You've
He's
got
a
everything.
simple,
He's happy.
Simple man. And
simple
airship
life.
is all he needs.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor might have some very tiny things to get, but I'm sure he can do that off camera.
Off camera. Off
yeah.
cuff.
Yeah, I will see if Valoran is. There's anything he wishes to
Yeah,
buy.
if you ask,
I'll message him.
buy it. He only wants like a fucking sword. So, sorry, Trevor, if you're listening to that.
I mean, he's already got
so-
one. He's already got one magical sword, so I don't know what else he's
I
gonna
don't
need.
know what else he's gonna possibly buy.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know if he uses heavy armor. I would imagine not.
So here's what I would like from my players. I want to pick up on Sunday at the end of everything that we've done, and we're gonna crack on. Which means I need 2 things from you. First of all, I need you all to figure out what you want to call your airship and tell me by Saturday so that I can add it to the map, the picture I'm gonna make. And then number 2 is figure out what your characters will be doing in the next 3 weeks they have of downtime.
Oh yeah.
So official D&D downtime.
For use on things.
For use on things. And that means, read the rules, but you spend a little to, use your day-to-day living. You can make shit, you can learn shit, you can research shit, you can build shit, you can do whatever you want. There is Sunny, I'm sure, don't know if you know, but there's something called carousing, which is literally just getting shit-faced all the time.
And finding sexual partners.
And finding sexual partners. So there's always that. Yeah.
What
So
downtime rules are you using? Are you using like Xan?
I've got Xanathar at home. I haven't read it for downtime,
Right.
but I'm perfectly happy for you guys to homebrew.
Well, I'm just checking so we know whether we're doing the right things.
As long as you don't take the mick then
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just like.
I build a giant weapon of no.
Well, no. If I'm gonna pick something, I'm gonna pick something into the rules, but I might be enchanting or doing that. So
Yeah,
I
you
need
can
to make. I
craft-
need to make sure I've got the rules right for it.
Yeah. So reference for anything that's, really something. Reference the rules. If it's just flavor stuff, then you have to
I'll
do it.
probably end up just writing out scrolls.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
spend your time making material
Think-
costs. It's like
Yeah.
Taylor's-
whatever it is.
Yeah, Taylor's going to start
Double-
learning a
double
language
check
probably.
all that. Unless I want to do something for money, but sure.
Yeah. So you can get a job as well if you really wanted to. But I
I'm
think
talking
you guys
about.
are.
I'm talking about real money.
Yeah.
By the way,
You could be a
Valoran
prostitute.
would have before we do go. Valoran would have told everyone that Valnetta is getting married and she doesn't want to.
I am going to supersede a bit of Valoran's downtime to add a little more context around that when we meet
Right.
next week.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't know what he would do about it, but
Well, I'm gonna let him make that choice. But
yes,
I'm
that's
gonna
what I'm saying. I know he
That's
would
fine.
tell us, but I want him to
Yeah.
if he wants us to do
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about
No,
it.
he gets to pick what he wants to do,
He-
and
he-
I'm gonna put him in
do
that
that.
next week.
Cool.
So we need
Gravy.
the name of his ship and some downtime activities.
Yeah.
Awesome.
By yourself for a few weeks and name that boat. Now, also as an aside, ship. Excuse me. My friend in the Navy would have my guts for garters if he heard me call it that. The next Sunday will be our last D&D for a couple weeks because I go on holiday.
Oh yeah.
9 time zones away. So it will not be a convenient time for me to try and coordinate with 15-hour time change to get up with Trevor.
No.
So
Oh,